Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to
Mic check,
episode
1, 2.
118 of Miami Dolphins content. Your boy CT, Amicus, Colin, and Cap for Life all in the building. We got a lot of shit to talk about tonight's episode. Talking shit with the main man, Amicus, with the boys, Cap for Life, and Colin. We're going to be talking post-draft expectations and preseason predictions. For those of y'all watching on Twitch, Twitter, all that shit, come on over to YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, hit that notification bell. We're here every Monday at 8:30 sharp. We do impromptu shows just like tonight. We did 6 shows out of 7 days last week. So make sure to hit that notification bell. What is going on, boys? Welcome to MDC. Let's get it.
What's up, fellas?
What's
Hey,
up? What's up?
Can we take a quick moment of
Hello.
talking shit? Can we take a quick moment of silence for the Miami Heat?
Along with
Tell me
the
don't get no
Tampa.
fucking moment of silence.
go,
Sorry ass
Miami,
motherfuckers didn't show
What's
up.
up, fellas? Phins up.
Just
Raise
like
up.
just
What's
like
up,
the
baby?
Lightning need a moment of silence after getting their ass whooped by the Panthers 4-1, and the Magic suck too. They're on the brink of elimination, gonna get eliminated by the shitty ass Cleveland Cavaliers. So we need a moment of silence for Collins fandom because it's going in the drain. But let's get to the football, boys. Again, we post-draft, second wave of free agency. There's so much going on. We're hearing a lot of rumors where people are settling in. Rookie mini camps are starting for some this weekend, some next weekend. But yeah, some draft news, some really interesting draft news as far as Dolphins are concerned. The main man, Cap for Life, has an interesting story. I did not hear it until just prior to show backstage. Let them know, Cap, what was going on with our picks, man, and Mike McDaniel fucking up. Let's get it.
Todd on here earlier, Talabudo was good intel, and yeah, he was pretty much confirming what I heard earlier today throughout the chat and throughout the community, which is pretty interesting to the fact of McDaniel wanting his weapons this draft and learning to compromise to let Greer do his thing, but at the same time say, hey, I want my toys. And I guess one of his toys he really wanted was early in the fourth, which was one of the Washington boys. And I guess it was what, Malik, right? I'm not too sure. The first
The
names
sixth
on
round
either.
pick. Sixth round pick. Yep.
Yeah. So Greer was like, look, let's hold off. Jalen Wright's there. Let's try to see if we get Jalen Wright. And I guess they worked it out where they got Wright in one fashion for McDaniel for weapon wise, and ended up getting Washington too early on in the rounds. So it was like a win-win situation for Greer and for McDaniel. So I'm glad it worked out in the end. So it was kind of interesting to hear that tidbit coming from the war room.
I like that. I mean, I don't know if I'm giving credit to Greer on that, but I give credit where credit is due. Finding 2 guys you really wanted, making it possible. Obviously, Greer and McDaniel felt like Wright wouldn't be there in the 6th round, so go ahead and take the guy you want then, and hope the other guy falls to you. So.
Yeah.
I like that. I thought that was very interesting when that got brought up. I like the behind the scenes stuff. That's why I like, the Netflix quarterbacks, series and stuff like that. I like to see, just like what's the HBO Hard Knocks. I like some of that behind the scenes shit. I like that. But Cap for Life Colin, what do you feel about that? Do you think maybe Greer and Mike McDaniel are working well on the same side of the coin, or
I think we didn't. I think we did pretty bad in the draft, and we didn't address the interior line or the defensive tackle position, bro. And I think that if Greer didn't score on this draft, and we don't win a playoff game this year, they need to keep McDaniel and get rid of Greer.
But Colin, let me ask you this:
Damn.
What if I
Oh,
what if I
hold
tell you
on,
this?
Cat for Life. Colin got a CT. No. You gave me shit when I've been fucking talking shit about Greer. Now all of a sudden you on the CT train? I like that, Colin. Hey, maybe it was the Lightning getting their ass whooped, or maybe it's the fucking Magic sucking dick. But at least
Well,
Colin's on the train. Go
all
ahead,
right,
Cap for
Colin.
Life.
I have a question for Colin then.
Oh shit.
So the Dolphins were similar to the Bills of being in the basement for 25 fucking years, and we both came up around the same time, right? We love Brandon Bean. That's the come up GM. How the hell can you get so mad at Greer when this is the only time you've been relevant? Like
Because
I don't understand. Like you and CT hating a GM that has helped y'all be relevant.
he hasn't helped us be relevant.
Well,
In
you climbed out of
reality,
Let me
the basement.
he's rode the coattails of Mike McDaniel, and to a certain degree, as much as I think he's a great DC, he wasn't a great head coach. And Brian Flores, Greer rides the coattails of everybody. Greer is supposedly a facilitator. He has no backbone. The guy cannot make decisions for his own. He likes to save his own ass by saying, "Oh, well, I just got them what they told me they wanted." Well, this story by Cap for Life proves that Greer obviously doesn't just facilitate when he feels like, oh, well, you want this guy and this guy, but this guy, I like this guy better. I don't think we're going to be able to get him there. I'm going to step in and I'm going to put my cock in front of yours. Let's measure some dicks, like Josue wants to say. The whole point is I think that when it's convenient for Greer, he wants to use the excuse that he's just a facilitator. But then when he makes bad picks, he wants to use the excuse that he's just a facilitator.
Well, it's interesting because, when you look at the sneak peek in the Bills war room, and Brandon Bean talked about it the other day, and I didn't really understand exactly their dynamic. I don't know if this is league wide or just exclusive to the Bills, but basically, McDermott and whoever will give their opinions on certain things throughout before the draft. But once it's game day on the draft, man, like them motherfuckers don't have no say so. They sit there, they keep their mouth shut, and it's all Bean on the phone. And it's Bean and his assistant that do all the work, and he has his little team or whatever. But like nobody knows anything. Pagula doesn't even know shit. Like it is all on Bean. Bean does all that. And he don't. And listen, you'll hear rumors of like Allen wanting Coleman. Yeah, he may say he'll send Bean like, hey, I really like Coleman, but ultimately Bean's the one pulling all the strings, and nobody knows a fucking thing until like in that moment.
Well, and I think that is unique. We know that Miami has said multiple times, back it up, Binge in the building. Hello, gents. Hello to you as well. I hope you're having a great week. I cannot drop the fucking link because of damn YouTube and the way that Bleezy has it set up, that if I try to put a link in there, YouTube will not. But for those of y'all who want to come on, the regulars and stuff, please send me a text and I will throw I will send you over the StreamYard link. But we know that Greer, Mike McDaniel, Anthony Weaver, DC, OC, they even asked to his opinions on some guys pre-draft. But the thing is I think that Greer has his board, but there is communication in the war room at the moment, at the time. And I think that's where I think Chris Greer has kept his job, unlike guys like Mike Tannenbaum, Dennis Hickey, these guys where they said, like you just described, that was their personality of, I'll take your input pre-draft, but once draft happens, it's all on me.
Right.
Where maybe Greer realized, oh, fuck, yeah, they lasted 6-7 years, which is way too long, by the way. But Greer goes, oh, well, let me learn from that. I'm not going to be the decisive decision maker so that I have plausible deniability of saying,
Exactly. Yeah.
well, I got the guy they wanted. You can't
Yeah.
blame me.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, CT. That's what little bitches do. So if that's really how they run their war room, I'm on board with you. Fuck Greer, because that's a pussy way of it doesn't. It's not. It doesn't hold accountability.
Now let me
Exactly.
ask you this. Let me ask you this. What if he compensated with that in free agency and made a move for a Jeffrey Simmons at defensive tackle for 1 year and to compensate with Javon Holland's contract coming up? And if Javon doesn't perform, you can, take advantage of that 1 year deal if Simmons does produce, being Simmons is pretty much a legit starter. Does that starter role, if we do make that move, compensate for the backup roles and the rotational roles that we got for the draft? Or
It
do we need to get
depends.
more
The
bodies?
question is this. So, what kind of contract is Jeffrey Simmons asking for? That's number one, because we have $1.84 million left in cap space. Now, post June 1st, we will get the 18.6, I believe, for Xavier Howard,
Oh,
which
y'all
would
look
put
good.
around $22 million. But here's the problem. You're in the second wave of free agency. D tackle is still a concern. Obviously, offensive guard is still a concern. Now, everybody keeps saying, oh, but the Dolphins already have a guy lined up. Oh, yeah, he's a veteran and they got him lined up on a cheap deal. Yeah, they do. And his name is Van Rotten, and Van Rotten is a fucking bargain barrel, blue light special, dented can special. So if Greer thinks that I'm going to get excited about them fucking signing Van Rotten, I'm not. Sorry. I'm just not. And we have the issue at safety. You just brought up the issue with safety. Well, guess what, Cat for Life? Guess who was there for us to draft in the first round over Chop Robinson? Cooper DeJean, and that would have been the replacement for Poyer down the road. And or if you can't fucking repay Holland, you got your replacement right fucking there. So I'm sorry. I agree. I said again, I gave this draft a B based on the amount of potential that Patrick Paul and Chop Robinson have. I do like the pick of Wright in the fourth round, the running back. I do like Malik Washington. I'm not thrilled with him because I'm biased. Being a South Carolina fan and living in Virginia, I don't really care for UVA players, but I'm not going to say he's not talented, but can you develop them and translate them to the NFL? That's to be seen. And I felt like there were more starter-ready guys out there, Cooper DeJean and others, that we could have fucking gotten. And I just, that's how I feel.
Yeah, man, I thought instead of Patrick Paul, we could have got Graham Barton, that defensive tackle, bro, at pick, what was it, 56? Man,
Irvin says it's cap. Man, get your ass up here and defend it. That Dolphins, they must have been high on Chop then. And I could agree with that, TDR. I agree completely, 1,000%. But I think that at that same time, I don't know what I just did. I fucked up somehow. Oh, no. Somebody left. I don't know what happened. Anyway, so I really feel like I get it. They like the potential of Chop Robinson, but we've discussed it. Just like Greer said 2 nights ago, that he sees the team in 2-year increments. So if you see the team in 2-year increments, how can you say that if it takes Patrick Paul 3 or 4 years to develop, it takes Chop 2 or 3 years to develop? Where's that win now? And that's kind of where my concern is, or my pushback on this draft is. I get the draft based on potential, talent, and development, but that doesn't help us now. That's my issue.
That's what I mean. His MO has always been going free agent heavy. So that's what I'm saying, man. I think we're not done yet in the aspect of, that the wave's still around for another move, free agents wise. UFAs are still out there. And I'm trying to take a positive spin on this, being that, this is the window year and everybody's not having a good positive outcome of positivity. But yeah, man, I mean, we got to hope and pray that these guys do end up or not.
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. I do hope so, man. But I'm just doubting Greer. Because
the man, the myth, the legend, TDR in the building. What is going on, brother? The Dolphins realtor. Give us your opinions post-draft.
What's going on, everybody?
Give us your draft grade.
Hey, Colin, you didn't lose yourself
overall. Oh, sorry. I was just saying, give us your overall draft grade and give us your overall post-draft, opinions.
Well, first off, I just want to say I'm glad to see Colin not losing his entire livelihood in a strip club so far.
Oh, shit.
Give him time. Give him time. He will.
Especially after the fact that his Magic got their ass whooped and the Lightning got their ass whooped. He's going to be drinking a lot of beer and some titty bars.
I know, man. What do you guys think about it? I mean, I thought the draft was really good, honestly. I think that, sometimes like I look at it and I'm like, man, I probably would have gone Brian Thomas Jr. At 21, or I might
exactly,
have gone
or
Christian
Cooper
Canes
DeJean and guys that could have fucking helped us right now. That's my only issue.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's not a good draft. It just means, that it's a give and take. Like, they ended up getting Chop. I mean, they might know more about each other than we do, so the guy might not be ready to go until 9 weeks, 10 weeks. Maybe he comes in like for a push at the very end. So, I mean, they definitely, and with Mo Kamara, so they know something there.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because Brandon Beane was on the Pat McAfee show, and there was a similar question about that. And basically, Beane said, because Bill's Mafia, he heard the bullshit from Bill's Mafia about trading back and trading with the arch enemy, the Chiefs, and all that bullshit that all the dumbass Mafia was saying on Twitter. He heard that shit, so he addressed it on Pat McAfee, and he basically said, like all the fan bases, like he was respectful, but he was basically saying, fans are fans, and they really don't know a fucking thing about any of the players. We can sit there and watch. Nobody watches film all day of these college players. Nobody flies out to watch them play in the Senior Bowl. Nobody does a 30 visit with them. You know what I mean? Like, we're limited in what we know and what we see. And their team, their GM, and their staff are not limited. They have all the information.
So let me ask you this. Is there such a thing as overthinking as opposed to not knowing? Because you can say, yeah, the fans don't know, but a lot of these GMs like to overthink and it ends up biting them in the ass. So
no, that does happen. Yeah.
Hold on real quick, Amicus, but one pushback on that, and I want to get to TDR too on his comment, but on that, Alan Popar and multiple media scouts, guys who are draft nicks, guys who aren't draft nicks, they've gone out to Pro Bowls or Senior Bowls, Pro Days, and all of that. They're seeing the same things, and the ones that are evaluators are still questioning.
Hold on. Stop. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not saying that there's not validity to anything any fan says or any Mel Kiper Jr. says or anything like that, right? or Fox Sports 1 and Skip Bayless. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that some GMs get it wrong, yes, but some GMs get it right. And the ones that get it right have all the information. So when fan bases get upset, you're not going to know for a few years anyways. But I mean, it's just bullshit, man. We always say, like, this is a bad pick. How the fuck do you know it's a bad pick? Because Mel Kiper said it was a bad pick? I mean, you don't have all the information. And I trust Bean. And Bean's a great GM. But if you have a track record of doing bad picks or whatever, okay, it is what it is. Belichick sucked in the draft. But you're not going to sit there as a fan base. I'm talking about my fan base and say Brandon Bean fucked up in the first round. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He didn't fuck up anything.
Yeah.
I mean, even
And
DeMarcus Russell busted out, right? Everybody misses on something.
Right.
And I agree with that, but what I was getting at, TDR, is exactly what you stated, and I get it. I get the forethought of improving the team down the road. Now, my issue is again, I felt like, just as you brought up Brian Thomas Jr., if you're going to go in that realm, and you think, obviously we have the second wave of free agency, there is opportunity to pick up guys, Calais Campbell and Justin Jefferson at safety. Like, yes, there are opportunities out there to improve the roster, but the issue I've had, at least in this situation, I can completely agree. Oh, God damn it. Somebody came on and he's got the fucking feedback. Oh, shit. I removed the wrong person.
Yes,
My bad.
So CT, you already you cap it to the people.
Nah, you gotta, Spidey, you gotta fucking fix the feedback, turn the YouTube off or whatever it is, brother.
Your headphones suck, bro.
Yeah. Take the tinfoil off the antennas, Spidey.
He's got that. Ah, God damn it,
What's
Spidey.
going on with this stupid mic, bro?
All right, so Spidey got that New York Jets freaking service.
I think you mean Miami Heat.
I mean,
Can I just
or
say something to what you were saying?
Orlando Magic, or Tampa Bay Lightning. But no, you can't say shit, Colin. But go ahead.
No, that was me. No, but
Oh shit,
I
my bad.
understand what you're talking. It's all good. I understand what you're saying, but we have to also understand the schematic differences. Like the last time we were talking, I mean, so many people said we need a DT. We need to be able to replace Christian Wilkins. But with the 3-4 base and the way that Weaver plays that, that isn't necessarily true, because you need to be able to clog the gaps more than pass rush. With Fangio, it was all about organic pass rush, 80% snap share and all that, right? So that kind of stuff, it changes around. So then Weaver, he looks at Cooper DeJean and he goes, well, this kid is sick at covering, but he's not a box safety. Maybe this is redundant. Maybe this is Javon Holland's replacement. I don't think they want to replace him. So, they're looking at maybe a Jaden Hicks type or somebody that's bigger. Or, they brought in that Mark Perry kid who's 6'3",
And that
What
was
about
something
I gotta
that
watch the tape later on.
I brought up that the other night, and I really liked it because both of the guys that we drafted and I believe there's two of the UDFAs that they're box safeties that are a la Rashad Jones and a Brandon Jones, right? They're physical in the run game. They have the ability to tackle. They have the size and the athleticism to get off blocks, which I liked. But to get back to your main point is, and I brought this up multiple times, being an exercise physiologist, I've been talking about Chubb. You're not going to see Chubb until late October, early November. That's just statistically speaking. And I've also said that Jalen Phillips, Yeah, he can say they're going to be ready at the beginning of the season and all this bullshit he's talked about. Well, I brought up fucking what 6 months ago, Spider-Man, Cat for Life. Y'all have been around Amicus. That just like the oh god, what was his name? Dude that came from the CFL.
Cam Wake.
Brain fart. Cam Wake. You know, when he came back early, but they put him on a huge pitch count, and he didn't actually have above 14 snaps in a single game until week 8. So if we're looking at that with the Jalen Phillips idea in mind, if Jalen Phillips, even if they try to start him and they put him on a pitch count, and here's the thing, we know that Mike McDaniel is even more conservative health-wise than previous regimes.
He's been every time CT, every time he's been asked about it, he's always said that we're not gonna let these guys kind of, be their own. How do you say it? He's trying to protect these guys from themselves, right?
How
He's
many
even said,
times
"No, I'll
have I
take it
told
one
you
step at a
guys that?
time," etc. Huh? What were you saying?
I said you're right. And how many times have I talked about this? Is
Yeah, you're right.
there's a difference between, and again, I have a bone to pick with Miami Dolphins medical and training staff, but I'm not going to get on that soapbox. If you guys want to
medical staff, by the way.
Go on previous shows and watch that soapbox. I'm not going to get on it, but
CT,
in this
knowing
instance,
A+ medical staff, CT.
yeah, in players' opinion, not in peer-reviewed other professionals.
I know.
I digress.
Hey, real quick.
I got you.
Real quick. You guys were talking earlier. I mean, do you guys think that the reason that we're stocking up so much might be a coincidence to like knowing that they might have an edge with the rules that they might implement for the week 18, and knowing we might need extra personnel, so maybe they're just doing their due diligence now before the rule gets implemented, and they'll have that extra
No,
personnel?
because
did the 18 game thing go through? Did the 18?
No.
I'm sorry. Did the 18 game go through?
It did not. They're not voting on this year. Owners' meetings are already over. Now, yes, is there talk about possibly next year? But that has nothing to do with the fact that, look, I love you, Cap, but I think that's wishful thinking from you as a fan about the thought process of Greer.
7 edge rushers and 7 defensive tackles. I mean, you got to be stacking up for something. It's either December or something.
Hey, but CT, but not necessarily that. But I think
we're stacking up because our DNs are fucking destroyed. Our outside linebackers are destroyed. We lost AVG. We lost Bradley Chubb. We lost Jalen Phillips. We lost Cameron Good, even though Cameron Good didn't do shit for us. So I don't know why people are fucking upset that he got hurt.
And CT, real quick, like the Ravens,
and the loss of Christian Wilkins. There is a fucking need at those two positions. But do I think that they did that with the forethought of going, oh, we might go to an 18-game season? No, that is absolute bullshit in my opinion.
Yeah,
CT,
man. And
real
Graham
quick.
Barton was there at 56. We could have taken the defensive tackle instead of a tackle.
Bro, listen, y'all got to stop with that bullshit. Listen, nobody's going to draft a defensive tackle or a fucking guard over a premium position, especially with a guy like Patrick Paul, who has elite traits such as the length, the wingspan. Bro, the guy has 36 or 38-inch arms, something like that.
Austin Jackson, bitch.
Got crazy
Austin
traits.
Jackson,
6'7",
bitch.
315 pounds.
Austin Jackson, bitch. That's
so
it.
What, bro? You got the coaching staff to trust.
The whole point is again, it took Austin Jackson 4 years to have one good year. It took Austin Jackson
but we don't need
one good year.
Hold on.
So here's my question. If people want to argue about Austin Jackson having one good year, but then the same ones are saying, oh, we got to keep Austin Jackson. He's so great and blah, blah, blah. But you can make the same argument about Tua, that Tua's had one good year, but you discount Tua's one good year and say, oh, no, it's all luck and this and that and the other. But they don't want to make the same connotation about Austin Jackson. But circling around, if it takes this guy 4 years to become a good starter like Austin Jackson, that does not help winning now. And that was my issue with the draft, is if you drafted a guy, Brian Thomas Jr., you drafted a guy like Barton, again, guard / tackle, they give you immediate help. And
again, CT,
let's not fuse Austin Jackson with Patrick Paul. Okay, Austin Jackson was way younger. He also came out of having a bone marrow transplant. I mean, it's different, bro. Trust me. This guy is
and
much
CT,
higher.
listen,
I have
CT,
taken the
quick,
bone
bro.
marrow thing into account because you remember, Irving, back on the previous fucking Miami Dolphins content channel.
Miami Dolphins,
Hashtag fuck YouTube.
We already went over this, CT. We already went over this. It's
Exactly.
not you. But anyways,
I gave
regardless,
credit for that. I will say that it was a wonderful thing for him to do. And yes, that takes a physiological toll on any human being. Okay.
So
I gave him a year or two to recover from that, just like I gave Tua a year or two to recover from the hip injury. I've been through all that. I'm not rehashing it. But my thing is even in this absence, and I hate to say this about Patrick Paul, but again, yes, he has all the physical traits. I do like the fact that they said when he is beat, and he's normally fluid and smooth in his step out, and he doesn't often get beat inside, which is contrary to Austin Jackson. Now, another part that is contrary to Austin Jackson is they said that when he does get beat, he doesn't panic and hold like Austin Jackson did, which I like that. However, there are multiple sources that his hand placement and his inability to anchor himself on stunts, that sometimes he overcommits on stunts. Now, do I think that that's coachable? Absolutely. But people made the argument that, Austin Jackson and the holding penalties and this and that, because of all of the physical characteristics, that's coachable. Well, maybe that's true. But how long is that development going to take? That's the question.
I will say this, CT. I would rather have a guy that's developmental in the run game that has nearly a perfect pass block rate.
Again, nobody's going to fact.
I can agree with that, but we also have to consider that in that situation, especially with Paul, that, again, I'm not being a fucking facetious asshole, but you got to understand the level of competition, and then you put on top of the level of competition in the college disparity, but then you got to talk about the disparity between the elite college players and NFL players who may be average or fucking below average, but because they have experience and they know the tricks of the trade, they know the insides and outs, like we've talked about with Howard and Holland and all these guys of, oh, yeah, when you're in college, it's see ball, play ball. But in the NFL, you got to learn, hey, you can get away with that little tug of a jersey as a cornerback, like with Cam Smith. Or a linebacker, oh, you can get away with in the scrum, you could do this. Or as a D tackle, hey, you can do this and get away with it. Where the college players, they don't have that same experience, and that takes time to develop. And again, my main issue is I wanted help now, guys that could help us now, I don't argue. I understand the forethought for the future, and I like that because I don't want it to be like Chris Greer said. I take it in 2-year increments and then I work on it every 2 years and the plan changes. But at the same time, if your window is 1 or 2 years, then you need to draft for now, not for 3 or 4 years down the road.
2-year
What if they
increments.
sign? What if they
Hey,
sign
try
Dalton Risner?
4-year increments. What was that? TDR, sorry.
I was saying, I'm sorry, man. I was just saying, what if they sign Dalton Risner? Then the plan looks pretty fresh, you know.
Exactly. The Dolphins have
I
already
don't know,
said
man.
that they're
The Big O has been adamant saying they're not going to get him. Like he's been adamant saying they're not going after him.
I don't know. I
yeah.
mean,
The
there
big
has
the
been
Big O
things
says a lot of
said.
things, bro.
There
Big
has
O
been
says a lot
things
of things.
said about two specific offensive linemen that they've already been in contact with. So I don't. I would assume.
Yeah,
Plus, he just went with Drew Rosenhaus. I mean, that's pretty fishy to me, man.
yeah.
Oh,
But
I say
anyway,
Rosenhaus.
He
Yeah,
brought
look,
in,
I understand where
according
you guys are. Hold on, CT, real quick. I understand you guys are. You know, I listen. I understand. Like, it seems like Greer is allergic to the guard position. There was a lot of guys, available for us, like kind of guys like Cooper Beebe and guys like
Barton.
no, not necessarily Grant Martin, Christian Haynes from UConn, and those guys
well,
were
I mean,
good fits for
3
the
guys
scheme.
right
You know what I
there
mean?
off the top of
I
our
get it,
heads.
bro. Like I absolutely get it. I mean, because especially we got the size of Texas at right guard. You know what I mean? With Robert Hunt's departure, so and the guy was a physical. He was a road grader. etc. Um, I mean, but again, Patrick Paul was somebody that the Dolphins that they couldn't pass up, bro. Like the guy has a 9.88 raw score. The guy has 36-inch arms. The guy's 9.5, almost 9.37 size hand size, 6'7", 331 pounds. The guy has traits, bro, and he moves. He moves very well for a guy his size. The only thing is that he's got to be refined. There's times that he leans way too much. He'll get over aggressive at times. Like he's got to clean up his footwork a little bit, his hand placement and things of that nature. But like I
And
said, I mentioned on the
that's
show, like I've mentioned in previous spaces and stuff like that. Like the guy, when he would pass block, he was a guy that would rely on a lot on his size and his length to help him in pass blocking. But he put the work in the summer of 2022, in the offseason, I'm sorry, of 2023, before the college game started, before the college season started, and he mentioned that he was working on his passing technique, his hands, his footwork, etc. And he was the number one graded pass blocking tackle in college football, right? He 91.5
you said fucking
PFF
right
grade,
guard
etc.
too many times, Spidey.
What?
Green Rat coming in here. You said right guard too many times.
Nah, shit. Oh, we have something interesting to show you. But anyway,
Yeah,
just to wrap it up, you know what I mean? But bro, he needs refinement, bro. But the traits are through the roof, bro. It's like Chop Robinson, right? If you trust your coaching staff enough to, teach them the fundamentals, right? The right technique, and you get them enough snaps, and you add them as part of the rotate, things of that nature. You got like elite guys, or at least Pro Bowl type players in on your hands. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
that's what that's what they have in mind. They have the long term. They're seeing they have a longer term vision. However you explain it.
So you think Chop will start because of what y'all were saying about
I think
Phillips?
Chop is going to be. I think Shaq is going to get the majority of the reps before Phillips and Chubb come in, right? Or before they come back into the season. But I think, but yeah, I think that's why they double down on Chop and then Muhammad Kamara, because they want to, be able to have a healthy enough rotation of pass rushers to get pressure on the quarterback until these guys return. So I think they
And
did a
I
good
get
job of
that.
that.
My thing was, as I said the other night on the show, and just from a physiological standpoint, I agree with, yes, his length and longevity as far as pass blocking is a huge positive for the Dolphins. But I said that it's going to be very interesting in Butch Berry's aspect how he's going to teach him. And I went from a biomechanical standpoint. Yes, the argument is he's tall enough, just like a Raekwon and a Christian, where they had to learn how to use pad level and all that. Yes, that is true to a degree. However, biomechanics absolutely support when you have a longer leverage arm, meaning longer arms, they can use that to counteract the lower pad level. And I think that I said this, what was it, Saturday night, Amicus, when we had the show, that if you can use the length of the fulcrum to lessen the force that the individual has to move, that's good for him in the run game. But the problem is Butch Berry and these guys, are they going to be able to teach him the correct technique given his size? And that's something that I'm not necessarily sure about. I'm more confident in Butch Berry's ability to coach up Patrick Paul. But here's another thing, and I'm not being disrespectful, but just like with, I called out Vic Fangio. I didn't like Vic Fangio's hiring. I don't know what Weaver has. We don't have experience seeing his scheme in action. And so I think that I have to at least defer maybe till the first 4, maybe 6 games of the season. But then we have the argument if Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips aren't back, when do you start getting an accurate evaluation of the scheme of Anthony Weaver? And that becomes an issue.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true,
bro.
but we can put things together like a puzzle, right? I mean, if he is signing 7 guys on the line, defensive line, right, and 2 of them are nose tackles, then we start to figure, all right, he's probably wanting to do the same thing that they did in the Ravens, where it was a heavy rotation, 3-4 base. And then, you look at the disruption rate of the edge rushers, you might not get the same amount of tackles or sacks, but he runs heavy blitz. And what do? They brought in Jordan Brooks,
Mhm.
who is another
And he
gap shooter,
blitzes from the
just like
slot.
David Long.
Yep. And he blitzes from the nickel too.
So
Jordan
again,
Brooks.
like I said, he essentially does the same shit as Jerome Baker, which is why it made Jerome Baker expendable. Because if I can find somebody to do the same shit without the 14 or $15 million fucking price tag of Jerome Baker, I'm good
Yeah,
with that.
but CT,
But here, hold on real quick. So let me ask you guys this, though. So I agree, it's going to be a 3-4 heavy scheme. However, we also know that he likes to run the 6-2 with the 3 safeties. So if you're going to do a 6-2, inverted 6-2 with the 3 safeties, would it not have been
who runs the 6-2?
beneficial? Would it have not been beneficial to
CT, who
draft
runs it? My bad.
John?
Who runs that system?
So again, they've talked about it. Alan Popar, fucking Ryder McConnell has talked about it. How they have ran 3 safety sets with 2 cornerbacks, right? But they're inverted. So it looks like the linebackers and safeties are up on the line, right? And it looks like an inverted 6-2, but it overall is a
Right.
cover a three safety set. So again, my argument is so if with pass rusher, okay, I'm going to a 3-4. Well, then that makes the outside linebackers, if you're using them as blitzers, a little more important.
They
So
run a
wouldn't you be
3-3-5. They ran a lot of 3.
focusing more on outside linebackers versus the ends? Because in that situation, if you wanted to bring back Ogba would come back on the cheap and be a traditional 3-4 DN as a run stopper, and then you allow your outside linebackers to be blitzers. This is where I feel like there's so many mixed signals between what Weaver may run, what Greer's drafting for, what they're signing free agents for. Like it's confusing to me. Because it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up.
I feel like it's pretty consistent.
How is
so
that?
Where does it not add up for you?
So again, if you're saying that we're drafting down the road for the DN, we have Shaq Barrett. We know Jalen Phillips is coming back. Bradley Chubb at some point will be back. And I'd said, yeah, okay, if Chop Robinson balls out, then maybe you can trade Bradley Chubb by the trade deadline because remember, it's been moved farther out during the owners' meeting.
Nah, CT, I see what you mean by inverted 6-2. I see what you mean at the inverted 6-2. I see it.
Yeah, but that was and all credit goes to Ryder McConnell and a couple other guys.
Ryder McConville.
I apologize. I said his name wrong. Say it again.
Ryder McConville. Shout out to Ryder McConville.
Hey, go check out his channel.
Yeah,
and I learned it because I didn't know they ran an inverted 6-2.
They do.
The way
I see that
is it looks like a 3-4, but instead one linebacker is on the line of scrimmage and another safety is on the line of scrimmage. And so it looks like a 6-2, right? But that safety, sometimes it comes in run support and on the blitz, but then sometimes it drops out into coverage. Well, the reason I was bringing this up is if Miami, and this is where I was saying TDR, it's a little confusing to me. So, okay, if you're running less dime, right? So you have less slot corners because you're playing an additional safety. It doesn't really make sense that. So we re-signed Nick Needham. We have Nick Needham in there. We have Kader Kohu. We have Javon Holland. We signed Jordan Poyer. So it looks like you're going more cornerback heavy than safety heavy when you're showing in Baltimore. And maybe this is adjustment he's making, but Baltimore played way more three safety sets than they did three cornerback sets.
Yeah, when they would play nickel, they would go 3-3-5 stack, and they did that a lot of the times.
Yeah, and that's my whole point is.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that marries with the idea. Are they saying maybe we can turn a Nick Needham into that quote unquote third safety? No, I don't really think that because Nick Needham doesn't have the physicality to play the run, which is why I like some of the UDFAs that we got that were box safeties that may play that spot. That may, a la Rashad and Brandon Jones. I like that. But
all of our guys got versatility.
I think
even Patrick Memorias out of Cal. Even Patrick Memorias out of Cal plays all over the field. He played in the slot. They played him in the box. They played him too high, whatever. They use him all over the place. And yeah,
Yeah,
he
and I
fits
think we're forgetting.
the exact profile with what Weaver's seeking. And it wasn't even Greer that like was the one primarily behind the drafting. It was actually the scout team that pushed Greer to draft McMorris out of California. So, but yeah, he can play too high box slot. That is perfect for the big nickel looks like that. You know what I mean? Like, and remember, we don't really. He's not gonna be. He's gonna be more of like a relief safety behind probably Poyer or Javon Holland because Jalen Ramsey is gonna be playing the star role. So he's gonna be lined up everywhere. He's gonna be moving around. Maybe in
See,
some
and
packages they'll have Javon Holland moving around as that star role safety because that's how he was used at Oregon. You know,
Yeah, and
but
you have
that's
bro.
the
You have a lot of
concern.
people to do everything, bro.
Yeah,
I
and
think
that's
we're
the
missing
concern.
an important name
And
here.
Amicus, and we have
No,
a
no,
Bills
no.
fan
Let
here.
CDR go. Let CDR go, and then we're
Oh,
gonna
my
get
bad,
to.
TDR. My
No, that's
fault.
cool.
Go ahead, bro. Yeah.
I think that we're missing a very important name here. Somebody that is known as a DB that can blitz and
Yep, I
obviously
agree,
can cover
Greer.
too, and that's Cater Kohu.
Well, I agree, and that's
I
where I
think
was
that
trying
Cater
to
Kohu would
say.
be perfect for that situation.
For the safety, you mean?
Yeah, and
Cater
see,
Kohu
that's what I was
is
trying to say. Unless you
If you're running
think
free safety on the
my
line, yeah.
problem is with Cater Kohu, he's not rangy enough and he's not very athletic in space. He's just pretty much a slot corner. I don't like him outside the boundary. My thing is with Amicus
but
will tell
that,
you,
and
Bills fan.
he doesn't have the weight and the size for the run game, and that's
Right,
and now if
exactly.
you're
Yeah.
going to use
Good
him
point.
situationally, if you're going to
Yeah.
use him situationally as a third safety pass rusher, absolutely, I agree with you. I do like
That's what
that,
I'm
but
saying.
like I said, and people got mad at me is we should have fucking re-signed Brandon Jones at a dirt fucking cheap contract
Oh
because
man, I
I
know,
said
bro.
all fucking last year that Brandon Jones needs to
Yeah.
be in a linebacker / hybrid safety
Yes.
role because
Yes.
he is
Because he could have
great
played the
in the
jack
run
role or
game
the.
and his physicality, and
Mhm.
he's better at covering than Jerome Baker.
No,
And
right. Facts. Go ahead, CT. My bad. Go ahead.
I would, to wrap it up, my thing is, but if that was the plan, according to Greer, Anthony Weaver, Mike McDaniel, if the plan was to run that 3 safety set, why didn't you re-sign Brandon Jones on the cheap? Because he got signed for dirt
He got
shit.
paid. He got paid though, right? Wasn't it like
He
$6
got
million a year?
he got $5.5 million
Something like
with
that, yeah.
got $5.5 million guaranteed for 2 years, and the first was a $3.5 million signing bonus. He'll make a $1.5 million salary this year, but he has incentives that he's never reached, which are not
Mhm.
included in the salary cap projection. So people think that he got paid this outrageous amount when he didn't. And that right there tells me if you were going to run this system, why not bring him back?
Mhm.
I would have
Nah,
paid him $3.5 million. I would have paid him $3.5 million.
Yeah,
mhm.
but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
would you trade him for Cater Kohu, who you're not paying anything, and he can run that third safety role, especially in the box where you're talking about blitzing. And I don't know. I mean, I've seen him. He's really good against the run. You're paying him
Mhm.
nothing. Would you trade Brandon Jones for Dalton Risner or somebody like that? I mean, it's all a give and take, right?
Absolutely I would, but you got to understand that Dalton Risner is a fucking upgrade over both Brandon Jones and Cater Kohu.
For the same price.
I don't think that's a fair question. Does that make sense?
Well, it's for the
Yeah.
same price is what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Fuck, send both of them fucking packing and bring me Dalton Risner.
Would you fucking bring in Justin Simmons?
I brought this up earlier. The only way I'm bringing in Justin Simmons is if the price is right. We know that right now we're at 1.8 million in cap space. We're going to get 18.6 post June 1st from Howard. That'll put us at 22 million. Now,
Right.
how much does Justin Simmons want? Now, we've also talked about the right guard situation. Apparently, Tom Pelissaro and what was the fucking guy from one of the, I don't know if it was the Herald or the Sentinel. One of the writers had said that this quote unquote guard that the Dolphins have been talking about, they have on hold for them, is Van Rotten. And I'm sorry, but Van Rotten does not move the needle for me. That does not excite me. Okay? Now, I don't know. It's the game they got to play. Now you put yourself in this financial cap situation. Do you go and spend maybe 8 mil, 9 mil on a Justin Simmons and bring in a couple other shit fucking O guards and O linemen, maybe another D tackle, maybe another cornerback? I don't know, but that's Greer's problem to figure out. But there's only so much money to go around.
Well, just what you said. I mean, what is Justin Simmons going to cost? $8 million, and then you can get somebody a good guard like Risner for about $3 million. So you're at $11 million. So you have $11 more million to go before.
But you have to remember, with our draft class, you have to have $6.5 million set aside for the draft class.
So we're still under.
What is that? 6.5 times plus 11. So that puts that at what? 17.5 million. So you would have like $5 million left, and saying, God forbid that nothing happens during the season. The Dolphins always want to try to keep some of that money to make in-season signings. Okay, you get a Justin Simmons and a Dalton Risner. Are you satisfied with every other position to walk into fucking the season with those two guys being your only main additions to the holes left that are post-draft holes? I don't know.
Well, who's left?
I really think that a possibility, like cornerback, is still an issue. Yes, we have Kohu and Needham to play the slot, and I love them both in that role. But outside cornerback, look, I'm not thrilled with the Fuller signing. I'm not, even as a Gamecock fan. I love a Gamecock alumni and fan. I loved Cam Smith. I watched him play all the time. But I don't know if the rumors about him being immature is an immaturity issue. Is it a physicality issue? Because both Jalen Ramsey, Nick Needham, and Xavier Howard went to Fangio and said this kid is ready to play. And he goes, no, fuck you. It's my defense. I put you out when I put you. So again, is it a Cam Smith issue? I don't know. But I would like some more depth there. We do need more depth on D-line. So again, instead of signing a guy like Justin Jefferson, maybe you sign a guy like Calais Campbell, who's going to cost less, say maybe a $4.5 million, $5 million contract, and you sign Risner, which I'm confident in that, and then maybe trying to find one of these lower not low. Well, they are going to be. I mean, talent wise, a little bit lower, but they could still produce, but aren't going to cost an 8 or 9 million like Justin Simmons.
All right, so I think we have options at least, and we have a decent amount of money to work with it.
Yeah, and I agree. It's all about how Greer fucking uses it. And that's why I'm not confident. Because unfortunately, it's not just a Greer thing. So if you haven't been around TDR, this is a multi-GM, multi-owner problem. I mean, we can go Dennis Hickey, Tannenbaum. We can go back to all the way back to Dave Wanstadt and coaches, owners, back to Wayne Huizinga of overpaying free agents because you're needy, because you can't draft and develop guys to supplement financially. That's been an ongoing issue across every spectrum of the Dolphins.
Yeah. This past year, we just lost a whole bunch of guys that equated to hundreds of millions of dollars of value, and they went somewhere else. So, I mean, there's that too, where Chris Greer has developed, he has drafted correctly as well. So, I mean, every GM has their wins and losses. But I think that more recently, they've been more interested in winning. And I think that they've been drafting a little bit differently. They've been developing a little bit differently. And that's kind of evident in the talent that we have, but also the talent that we've lost.
Absolutely agreed. Great point. And like I said, it's not a Greer hate fest. I'm an optimistic realist. I want to be optimistic, but I also want to be realistic and knowing that you can't just be blindly prophetic and it's all going to turn out great. I mean, we could talk again. Deion Jordan, Noah, Eichenberg, Austin Jackson. There are a lot of questionable decisions, whether they work out or not. The thing is I'm more of a wait and see guy. I'm not just gonna, blindly go, oh, that was great. That's just my personality.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. I understand that. I hope that, from what I've seen just in the past year, that, we got destroyed with injuries. And so hopefully the depth that we have would be able to sustain something beyond what it has before. I mean, it starts like, don't put Liam Eichenberg at center.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all know what that looks like. Let's not do that.
Green Rat's going to come after you, brother. Green Rat is going to come after you, brother.
Read your text message.
Eichenberg,
I like my right guard.
Read your text message. I sent you something from courtesy of Green Rat. He wanted me to put it on the show.
Bro, I'm running the show by myself, bro.
The show is better when Green Rat's on the panel. Can we get him up here, please?
No, Green Rat won't come up because you're probably up here and he doesn't like Bills fans. So we've been neglecting you for a while, Amicus, and we're going to stop doing that. You are the fucking man over
Amicus,
here.
I heard you had a nice rest. Yeah, you have a good nap.
I took a little nap, man. A cat nap.
Yeah.
A power nap.
Good. Yeah, I hope you're well rested.
The conundrum we're discussing. What does Amicus as a enemy think about our conundrum we're arguing about?
Wow, I love it. Honestly, I love sitting here and listening to y'all because, listen, man, I chime in when there's a lull, but hearing Dolphin fans like argue about in-team decisions just makes my night. It just makes my night.
Well, I mean, we did say the Bills should have drafted a quarterback, so I mean, we can get on that topic.
Well, I was wondering if y'all were pissed off that Penix was taken so early by Atlanta.
I
But
was
anyway,
I was
yo,
ecstatic about it.
Amicus.
It's
Speaking of Atlanta, did you, bro? What a stupid decision, bro. They literally gave this
Yeah.
fucking guy, Kirk Cousins, a 4-year, $180 million contract, $100 million guaranteed,
Yeah.
and then they draft a 6-year starter in college that's gonna be 24 years old. They're stuck with that Kirk contract for like 2 years. Not on top of that, they got caught tampering, right? And
Yeah.
now that you're gonna have that dude sitting behind the fucking behind Kirk for 2 years, maybe three, who knows? However it goes. By the time he starts, this guy's gonna be 26, 27 years old, bro. And a
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
that has a
Hey,
lot of
Green
red
Rat, I
flags on
love you
him,
too,
bro.
by the way. Yeah, man.
Fucking
Listen,
stupid.
the thing that nobody talks about when it comes to that pick at number 8 is the fact that not only is he sitting for 2 years, right? That's not a big
Yeah.
deal. I mean, Mahomes sat for 1 year. Aaron Rodgers sat for like a decade.
Yeah.
That's not a big deal. Well, the big deal is, like you said, the $100 million. They can't get out of it
Bro,
for 2 years, so he's
that's
at least
crazy.
going to sit for 2. But you're paying him pick 8 money.
I know. That's another. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. This is the same fucking franchise that had a 1,000 yard rusher in Tyler Algier, right? And they fucking drafted a fucking another running back, 8th overall, in Bijan Robinson out of Texas, bro.
Bro, check exactly. And
Fucking
here's the
stupid.
thing: what about win now? You know, if you brought over Kirk Cousins, you saw what Cousins and Jefferson did.
Yeah.
Why not go with Dunze? Put a Dunze with Kirk Cousins. You got Bijan, a Dunze, you got fucking Pitts.
Ooh, damn, I know.
They fucked up.
No, not
They
only that,
fucked
bro.
up
Drake
so
Lloyd.
bad
They got
that
Drake
Pat
Lloyd.
Mac. Pat McAfee had a whole week of GMs on the show, and the one GM that would refuse to go on the show and cancel was the Atlanta GM.
Fucking stupid ass
That's how
franchise.
bad he fucked up. He knows it too.
This isn't their
At least Kyle
first go
Pitts.
at it though. They
At,
have
at least,
repetitively fucked up.
at
That's why
least
they are
Kyle
where
Pitts.
they are.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
TDR, guess what? It's like on there's a video of Arthur
No shit.
Blanks like saying, "What the fuck?" Like, bro, when the owner comes up to you on TV and shakes his head, that's a problem.
Yeah, that's you fucked up big moment. And we talked about it. I think on top of all that, one of the points that you guys didn't bring up and we brought up on the show a couple last
Cajun.
is on top of all of that, you're so concerned about when Matt Ryan left, you had no guy to step in, but then you become so desperate that you financially destroy your team, like you guys did mention. Is it a hangover effect
Good
of
point,
them
Green.
losing Matt
My
Ryan
bad, bro.
and being so desperate because of it?
I don't know. Sometimes I think like a loser's mentality, man, is contagious. You know, like from the top down, it trickles down, bro. And like Atlanta, I know they went to the Super Bowl, but they also gave up a fucking like the epic collapse of all time, you know, and like
7 points or some shit like that.
no, like 20 something points in the Super Bowl against Brady.
7, I think it was. Yeah.
No, bro, they were up by like fucking 30 points. It was crazy. Well, what was it, Spidey? Spidey knows. He knows all that.
I
25
believe
points. They were up by 25 points,
5,
bro.
25 points, yeah.
27,
Fucking
25.
crazy.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
yeah,
so
so
oh well, go ahead. No, you finish.
I'm gonna
Finish what
bring
you're
it
gonna say.
up. I'm gonna bring it up right now to fucking pacify both you hoes. So
No, I wasn't about that, but
Yeah,
go ahead.
possibly. Green Rag, good
let's
point.
go ahead and let's do it anyway. Let me take Green Rat shit off the screen. But he said apparently this is what you had texted me, Irvin, that Liam is one of many discussions in here, an important food for thought for those clamoring for a new right guard, which I totally understand. Liam played 146 snaps at left or right guard and allowed no sacks and 4 pressures. Not bad. didn't conflate unevenness at center with his competence at guard. And I think that that's very important to talk about is Connor Williams wasn't in there either. Well, he was at that point. But then when you move Liam to center, you've got Robert Jones at right guard, and you've got, what's his name? Fuck, I can't remember. Lester Cotton at left guard.
Cottontail?
No, it was Lester
Oh,
Cotton.
Robert Hunt was still
It's a
Robert
joke,
Hunt was
CT.
still
It's a
right
joke,
guard. I'm pretty
CT.
sure at that
No,
point.
no. When they moved Liam to right guard, that was when Robert Hunt got injured the
Went out.
first
Yeah.
time. Not the second
Not when he
time,
went.
but the first
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And that
Yeah.
was the issue is I think that it would have been different because remember, we lost Isaiah Wynn in week 4. Now, had Isaiah Wynn still been left guard, I may have been more comfortable. Armstead, Isaiah Wynn, Connor Williams, Liam Eichenberg, Austin Jackson. I would have been much more comfortable with that than the lineup of what did it end up being? Kendall Lamb, Lester Cotton, Liam Eichenberg, Robert Jones, and Austin Jackson. That was fucking trash. I'm sorry. And that's on Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel. You know you've had an offensive line issue that goes across multiple head coaches, multiple GMs, and multiple owners. So when does the Miami Dolphins organization start valuing the trenches, both offensive and defensive
Can
line?
I answer that?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. This dude, Kevin Durham from Dolphins Talk, he was on a panel one night, and he said that in the Mike McDaniel scheme, they don't particularly value guards the way they do tackles and centers. They focus and emphasize their scheme around the center and tackles. So,
Which
that is
doesn't
why.
make sense because which doesn't make sense. So
Mhm.
that's why is in the San Fran running game scheme, Mr. I was a run game coordinator.
Mm.
They have centers and guards pulling much more often than centers and tackles. So if you know that you're going to ask guards to pull, a la, don't make me say it, Liam Eichenberg, when the dude was tripping over his own fucking feet and could not fucking pull. And then the one time that he did pull and that he didn't trip over the center's feet, he missed the fucking gap that he was supposed to block in. Okay? So I don't want to hear that bullshit. I don't want to hear
I'm
it.
not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying that's what he said.
You say I'm not disagreeing with what you said, but this guy said something else. Well, then maybe he needs to watch more Dolphins film and watch Liam Eichenberg on multiple plays trip over the center while pulling, and then the one time he doesn't, he gets so excited that he didn't trip that he missed the fucking gap he was supposed to block. I like Liam at right guard, where they do not ask the right guard to pull very often because of the way that they line up. When they line up they always line the formation to the wide side of the field. So it doesn't ask Liam to pull as much from right guard as it would.
They pull the center. It's because they pull the center and the left tackle when they run to the weak side. Not necessarily run their guards a lot. Yeah,
exactly. So when he's on the strong side as the guard, he's not being asked to pull. which
Mhm.
okay with. It's
Yeah.
don't put Liam at left guard. Just don't do it. Just don't.
And CT, because remember when we run outside zone or inside zone, we're combo blocking, and the center would probably get off the fucking combo block and get to the second level and seal a linebacker or whatever the fuck it is. So you don't have to pull much in this scheme, but yeah, when we do pull, we're not asking our right guards to pull. It's mostly our centers and tackles.
Yeah, and that's where I said that I liked the drafting of Paul, because again, one of his evaluations was not only does he have smooth footwork in his slides, but he's very good at getting to the second level on combo blocks, which I like. I like that pick. But again, it has to develop. You have to be a good run blocker
Mhm.
initially, grader, but you have to also be able to get off blocks and get to the second level, and you need to be able to pass protect. So we know he does two of those three things well. It's, can you develop him to get that third thing down for him to be a solid starter?
And
That's the
that's for
question.
who? That's for who? That's for Patrick Paul.
Patrick Paul, because
Oh, okay.
remember, he's
My
good
bad.
in his slide sets and he's good in pass protection, right? He's
Mhm.
good on combo blocks in the run game, but in the
Mhm.
run game, when he's on one blocking, because of his size, he's not very good at leverage and his hand placement. So if they can teach him that, coach him up on that, then okay, he's got all three faces covered. I feel more comfortable with that.
No,
Right, and he's
like he needs to stop overreach. Go ahead, TDR. My bad.
oh, that's all right. I'm just saying
No, you're
the
good.
the guy is a smart dude. So I
Mhm.
mean, if I'm gonna pick something that he's got to be developmental in, it's probably gonna be that. You know, and outside of
Fact.
the first 15 picks, there's no guarantees of anything, and there's going to be projects. They're all kind of projects, and pick and choose which ones you're going to, feel most comfortable with. And I think that they did a good job with Chop Robinson, with his hand placement, with Patrick Paul, with some of the technical aspects. I mean, and they vet these guys. These dudes are smart. They know what they
And
know
that
their
was,
capacity and their ability.
yeah, and TDR, you bring up a great point that I brought up a few nights ago. And it took me after the draft to really dive into a lot of these guys. And I know it sounds like a pompous asshole, but it's not. It's reality. And I brought up to Green Rat and others that Patrick Paul, as well as Malik Washington, as well as two or three of our UDFAs, they're on their conference athletic honor roll. And these guys, they have above a 3.5 GPA cumulative, not their final semester, but cumulative GPA are 3.5 and above. So not only are they academic All Americans, they also have the physical traits. And those are picks I like, because as a physiologist, look, trying to train a fucking dumbass versus somebody who's willing to learn, willing to accept, willing to understand the complexity of the game. I liked that. So that is a very good point by you, and I second that.
Nice.
Yeah. No, like I was saying that Patrick Paul's got it. Never mind. Never mind. It's all
All
good.
right, so let's get it. Let's get into it. We put it off long enough. Amicus, we talked about postseason needs and all of that, post draft opinions. Let's get to preseason projections. What are you projecting for your Buffalo Bills?
Super Bowl, obviously. I think that's a foregone conclusion. AFC East champions for the 5th year in a row with a 12-5 record. I think that'll get it done. Now, I will say I re-looked at the schedule today, and man, that is a tough schedule. Hence the 12-5 record, right? The 12-5 record reflects the difficulty of this schedule. Otherwise, we'd go undefeated. But yeah, 12-5 AFC East champs, 5th year in a row, Super Bowl champions for the first time. Brady said that Josh Allen would be the first quarterback or the next quarterback to win his first title. So, he could have gone with Burrow, Herbert, all kinds of different quarterbacks, but he went with Josh Allen. And there's a reason for that. Now, our team is better now than they were last year. We got rid of the cancer in the locker room. Diggs was not a true number one. He was a true number two, as I've stated before. And now we have Keon Coleman, who's going to be a big target for Josh Allen, a guy that's going to be on the run a lot, and that 50-50 ball is going to be there for the taking all year long. That with Dalton Kincaid in his second year, anybody who thinks the Bills have taken a step back just doesn't really understand football, I would surmise.
Okay. All right.
This is what happens when you win for too long.
Yes, sir. TDR, let them know. But we're gonna pull up the Dolphins schedule and we're gonna talk about it. You and I, TDR, and we're gonna break this shit down real quick because I think that we have the ability to go 12-5, if not 13-4, and we're gonna get into why. Hold on, let me bring Spidey back in because he fucking left. All right, so this is the Dolphins 23-24 schedule. Oh my God, why is that the wrong one? No, it's not what I clicked. Hold on.
Yeah, I was about to say there's no dates set yet, so
that's not. There you go. There's the home and the ways. So these are the opponents we're playing next year, and so the dates are not set, but this gives us a representation of the games. Fucking fuck. All right. These are the games that we're going to be playing. I said Amicus with the Buffalo shit, says Green Rat. But yeah, we got San Fran. I think that's a toss-up game.
that's a loss.
I think, well, at home, I disagree. But what do you guys think? Spidey and TDR. San Fran at home.
Go ahead.
What do you think?
We're winning that game.
Yeah, okay. TDR?
Yeah, I think that they've taken a little bit of a hit, definitely in the locker room. Their wide receiver core is like up in the air right now. They're going to be a good team. I'm not going to say they're not, but I think the truth of the matter is we have to understand how good we are first. And, there's certain keys, man. Like Jonnu Smith. Is this guy going to really vacate the intermediate route that we didn't hit at all on last year? Are we going to get a better inside run? Like, if these things come together, we're going to be the best team in the NFL. I'm not even fucking kidding. But
I agree with you.
if we don't unlock these keys, then it's kind of pointless. So yeah, I mean, I think as of last year, we could have absolutely beaten the 49ers, and this year I'm hoping that it's even more of an absolute that we will.
All right, so we'll go fucking 1-1 or 1-0, baby. So Buffalo at home, I see that as a win. They'll cry about how hot it is here, and Amicus will suck Josh Allen's dick to make him feel better. What do you think about that, TDR and Urban?
I think we're gonna beat Buffalo. Um, yeah, I just think we're gonna beat Buffalo. I think our pass rush is gonna get to Josh Allen. I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. Maybe like in the somewhere in the low 20s. But I think we got him.
TDR?
Yeah, Buffalo is one of those. It's in our division. These guys, like, they could take a step back and we could take a step forward and we still split. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
these
Yeah, and
guys.
that's kind of where I'm at. I think that we're going to split, and I think it's a home and away split. That's just my opinion.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Is that Josh Allen's nightmare? Is that destiny that his picture came out?
Nah.
I was gonna say about Patrick Poore. I just had forgotten.
But all right, so we take the 2 wins at home, San Fran and the Bills. The Jets, I think we sweep this year. They're just not ready yet. So I call that 3-0 as far as the home side.
Mhm.
What do you guys think about that? Amicus, you got any qualms about that?
And in total, I see 7 losses. And I didn't really study it much, but I saw 7 losses. If I really dig deep, I probably see 8 or 9, but I see 7.
Oh, okay. Sorry, he went ahead and gave us all of them. But we'll stick with that. Everybody, you, TDR, and Spidey, we're good with the 3-0 on the first 3 home games.
Oh, we spanked that
At
ass.
home, we don't have to worry about getting hurt on the Jets turf at MetLife. Yeah, I think we're good.
Oh shit! Damn. All right, I agree. I think we actually go 4-0 on home games. I think that we beat Tennessee as much as they like their new QB after Tannehill. I don't think they get the job done. They got a new head coach. Everything's in turmoil. I don't think they get. I don't think they get the win. You guys
CT,
agree with
I'll be
that?
honest with you. I just see the 49ers and the Bills as home losses, and I see you winning the other 6.
All right. Well, that's good.
I like the Titans. I like the way that they've, positioned themselves, and they definitely got playmakers. And I think it's a
They
little
got
bit
Tyler
closer
Boyd.
than we think, man.
They got Tyler Boyd TDR, or they're closing in on him, something like that.
Oh shit,
They
bro!
just
I
drafted.
see.
Who'd they just draft? Wide receiver. I'm thinking here.
I have no idea, to be honest.
It
Um,
doesn't matter. To be honest, I think all 8 of those home games are wins. Going
Mm.
based on statistics and talent level, I do agree. I do think those are all wins. I do think that we do have a couple questionable games on the road. But I really think that the only games that we're really worried about throughout this entire schedule, Green Bay, Houston, the Chargers game, the Bills game away, and the Seahawks possibly at a matter of 5 losses to go 12-5. But I really think that the only 3 losses we have on the schedule is we're gonna fall to the Bills away. We're gonna lose to Houston, and we could possibly either lose one of the 2, but I'm not decided on which one. But Green Bay or the Chargers,
Rams.
Where do you see the Chargers at? Is that the
You're talking
Chargers?
about the Rams.
Sorry, the Rams. Sorry, not the Chargers. Sorry,
Okay.
the Rams. Well, knowing that, yeah, I think it's either Green Bay, Houston, and the Bills at 3 losses. That's a 14-3 record.
I think you underestimate how good the Rams are going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Aaron Donald's not there anymore, so that's definitely.
They do got Jared. They do got Jared Verse, man. They're gonna be good.
Oh yeah,
I know, just like Chop Robinson, it's gonna take a while.
I don't know about that.
The Rams are going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I like the Rams.
Jared Verse is pretty pro ready, bro.
They got Paku, or whatever his
He's not
fucking
too
name
far
is. They got
behind
Cooper
from-
still, and they got Stafford. I mean, they're
He's
going
not
to
too
put up
far-
points.
Right.
I think
He's
the
not too
toughest
far
opponent
behind.
on there is the Texans, man. I think the Texans are gonna be crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna
Yeah,
be great.
I agree. I think that their defense and CJ Stroud and the offensive weapons they added in the draft, I think Houston's going to be a problem. I think we dropped that one, but still, 3 out of 17. I'm good with the 14-3 record.
Yeah, I mean that.
No way the
doesn't
Bills are
really
getting
happen.
there. No way the Bills are getting there.
No, I would agree with that. 14-3, no, but neither are y'all.
Right.
I think we split with y'all. We went at home, you went on the road, or you guys win while we're on the road. That's kind of how it's been the last few years. And
Oh, we split last year with y'all. We split. I
we split last year with you.
I don't think we split.
I think you got beat in the game that you guys cried like little bitches because it was too hot in, and then you fucking won in.
No, but you're talking about the previous year.
I don't know. My whole point is again,
we swept y'all's ass last year because we went down to your building for the AFC East Championship on the line and whooped that ass. That's what we did.
Regular season speaking, we have split with you for the last few years.
Except last year.
I thought we won. I thought we won when
we've only beat them in 2022, and the last time we beat them was in like 2018, bro.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
they've had our number.
Josh Allen owns you, CT. You don't understand that?
The same way the Jets have been. The same way we've owned the Jets. Buffalo has been owning us for like the past 6-7 years, whatever.
But Josh Allen did cry on Tua's shoulder, so that's a win in my book.
Oh, I know, that was awesome.
I gotta bring up. I always have that shit in here somewhere. I gotta bring that.
So I was remembering what I was gonna say about Patrick Paul. Patrick Paul in the run game, he's gotta stop lunging because at times he's just being over aggressive. He's got to take better angles in the run game when he's on zone. Hand usage, I agree, and he needs to also work with proper pad level. But in pass protection, when he's squaring up,
proper pad level. At his size, you're never gonna get proper pad level. He has to understand where he can use his length, fulcrum, to be his advantage. That they have to find somebody to teach him that.
True, but anyways, I think that's where he has to work on it because his run grades are not that great. But other than that, like I like his pass protection skills. Like when his kick slide is right, his kick slide, like when he gets into his pass stance and he gets into his kick slides very quick, he'll square up a defender very fast. He's got the long arms to keep the defender in front of him, and he displays good anchors sometimes, but he's still got to work on it. You know what I mean?
In the run game, pass game, he's got a great anchor.
Yeah. Well,
They
at
just
times it
said
could be a little
on the
bit. It could be.
initial run, like
Yeah.
putting your, the first chest fucking punch. That in
Right.
the run game he's not as good as that because his hand placement isn't great. And
Right.
then the only two knocks were in the run game his hand placement and his ability to recognize and adapt to stunts. Those were his only two major negatives.
In run blocking, yeah. Yeah, it's his hand placement, the angles, he just gets a little over aggressive at times. But yeah, other than that, he's pretty solid, bro. Like his pass protection is where he's at best. You know what I mean? Because he's got the length. He's got. It's hard for a defender to get beyond that. To get that bend around the arc and get around him. You know what I mean? And then he's got the size. Because usually, when you have edge rushers with power, they'll try to get an initial strike inside the dude's shoulder pads, right into
Yep.
his chest plate,
Initial
and
punch.
yeah, and it'll shorten the punch, and it will shorten the angle where the pass rusher has to go around because he uses speed, right? So with his size and his wingspan, and with the good anchor, a lot of guys are gonna have trouble doing that to him because he's
If
a big
he can
dude, right?
learn, if he can learn to punch quicker, get his
Punch
hand
quicker,
placement inside, get
right?
that first bomb, I knock you back, and now I have the length that
The
you can't get
counters, yeah.
around me. That
Yep.
that's where they were saying if they can teach him the hand placement, the initial punch in the run game, that's the only missing. I told you he has two out of the three things that I want. If they can coach him up on the third one, then he can be a solid starter. But if Mike McDaniel, which again, I don't believe him because he's lied to us multiple years. Oh, I'm going to stick to the run game. Oh, I'm going to learn from my lesson of not sticking to the run game. Well, he's done it 2 years in a row now. Well, if he finally does decide to stick to the run game, then unless Patrick Paul can get better at the initial
Yeah.
punch in the run game, then
Right.
that's an issue.
But that's because his foot speed's a little bit slow because sometimes he's a little too slow coming out of his stance, and when he tries to get his hands on the guy, the edge rusher already gets his hands inside and then gets a inside counter move on him, and that's it. He'll start stumbling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they said that
Like a
his
swipe, not an
transition,
inside counter,
his
swipe.
transition,
They stack
his
set him right.
transition into the kick out is
Right.
smooth.
Mhm.
But they did say that there are times where he overcompensates, thinking I'm so
Mhm.
long I could kill the speed rush.
Right.
But then if they try to counter inside, that if he can learn, unlike Austin Jackson in his early years, when
Mhm.
Austin Jackson, if he got beat inside, he would panic and he would hold.
Right.
If they can
No, but
teach him, hey,
Mhm.
don't panic, use your length to
Yeah.
make up for it,
Mhm.
then he'd be a solid starter.
No, and because I was watching his tape at Texas tape, right, where he was playing against Texas, and like I was telling you, like he was slow to get out of his stance, and his when he tries to put his hands on the defender, there's not enough power. It's way too finesse. Like it's like really lazy hand placement,
He's
and
worried about
the defender
speed.
just stacks him and
Oh,
just sheds it. Like he just swipes him to the outside, and that's his problem. Like, and he's long and he's lanky, so he'll lose his balance. You know what I mean? So definitely, I agree with you 100%. Like, he's got to work on that. But when he gets in front of a guy, like when he squares him up, right, gets his hands in between the shoulder pads, he'll pancake the guy. Like, he's out of the fucking way.
Well,
But yeah,
yeah, that's
there's a
kind of
couple
where
of things to that. There's the fact that Teron Armstead, his direct, he's replacing him. Teron Armstead's a great team,
Mhm.
and he's really good at that.
Great technician
So,
in getting out in space and taking proper angles in the run game. Sometimes he'll get a little bit like sloppy at times, but he's very consistent. Like it's sloppiness. it's like very occasional, but like it's most of it's good. But hey, but I wanted to ask you guys this, right? And I heard, I heard rumors from the Big O
Hold
show that supposedly,
on. Before we move on to a new subject, let
yeah.
TDR address that, and then we'll get to the new subject.
Oh yeah,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sure.
No, just two things. One, I was just saying that Teron
Mm-hmm.
Armstead is going to teach this kid, and then two, you're saying that we abandoned the run, and I thought that too initially, but then when you look at the tape,
Mm-hmm.
we abandoned the run when it
Mm-hmm.
was when the interior offensive line was injured. And when that happened, especially when Wynn went out the first time, it went down a little bit. And then, especially when Connor went out, it went down. And then Robert Hunt, it was done. And, you say we abandoned the run. Well, the outside run, you can only do so many before these,
We don't have the
these
personnel for
teams.
it either. Yep.
Right. So they start, latching on to exactly what you do. And then you're just going to start
Facts.
losing yardage. We brought in Jalen Wright because we need a guy that's going to fall forward. We didn't have that. Not one.
Well, we did in Chris Brooks until he got injured, but
He doesn't
yes.
fall forward.
Oh, bro, this
As
guy is
much
better
as
than Chris
we
Brooks.
feel like Chris Brooks is this
Yeah.
powerhouse monster, watch his tape. He does fall forward, but not every time. He gets
Mm-hmm.
stops so often, man, and it's because he runs with a high pad level. I mean, will he figure
Mm-hmm.
that out? Maybe, but I think that
Probably
they
not.
know he's not Jalen Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I agree
Yeah.
with that. And what I was saying is
Good shit,
that
TDR, as always.
in this moment, all I was trying to make the point is, and I agree, I wanted a bigger back. I wanted a more physical back. Um,
He is a
I
physical back.
was really
Jalen Wright is
upset.
physical.
Drafted last year, one of my alumni from South Carolina, okay, who always fell forward. But at the same time, my point is
Laquan J.
I
White.
agree with you in that aspect.
Just kidding.
The real issue was, like you said, I think that Isaiah Wynn's departure, injury wise, created a hole on that left side of the line, and so we tried to tend to run more to the right because we had Robert Hunt. And I agree,
Mm.
Connor Williams, him and Eichenberg snap suck, but
But
Connor Williams is way better after the fucking snap than Eichenberg could ever fucking wish he
CT,
was.
real quick, just to point out, to point kind of like piggyback off that. Do you think having Waddle and what's this guy's name, Tyreek out there, right, when they're running those wide zone, outside zone, whatever the fuck you want to call it, do you think that that was also a problem in not having enough production from the perimeter run game because they're too small out there to do like block out there, and like kind of like chop block, or a crack block,
Well,
excuse me, on
Remember,
crack toss plays and shit? Do you think that that affected our running game? What do you expect? Because that's
we
what
just
people
led the
claim.
league outside. We led the league
Yeah,
in rushing, so it's not like we were terrible. But
yeah,
it comes a point where you're facing the Eagles, and they got
mhm,
fast edges, and they're just gonna take you.
right.
You
No,
know.
you have the
that's what
smaller
I
receivers
was
where they're
trying to
not
say.
big. They're not big enough to go block on the outside to
Yeah, but
crack on
that's the
edges
thing
and
is
shit.
it's on Mike McDaniel though, because I brought this up and we talked about it. When
Yeah.
they want to key in on that outside zone, that's when you want to run the RPO, right? So if they want to key in on the outside runs, instead of having Tyreek run a dummy route down the field,
Mm-hmm.
have Tyreek run a fucking slant across the middle. Have Waddle from the opposite fucking end, even if he's in the slot, run the same slant across the middle. You can't have two guys running counter action to each other and let Tua make the decision. If
Oh, I
the
see what you mean.
cornerbacks are
I see what you
closing
mean.
in on the slants,
Yeah.
then that takes the cornerbacks out of the play for the run game.
Like a quick glance
And
RPO, like quick glance RPO type of thing. Is that what you're talking about?
no, it's yeah, it is in that sense. So say you have
Mm.
counter slants on both sides to draw in the defense into the middle of the field, right?
All right.
So you look at it and say, okay, is the corner playing outside leverage or inside leverage? If they're playing outside leverage and they're following
Yeah.
whether it's man or zone inside, if they bite on the play action and they move inward, right? Hand off the ball and let them go off tackle outside zone. But if they don't bite on that and they play outside leverage instead of inside leverage, they play outside leverage and the slant is open, let Tua hit the fucking slant. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not
but
fucking rocket science.
what happened,
I
CT?
agree, CT.
I
I
saw
agree.
it in real time. I'm sure you guys did too. They were trying everything and anything because they couldn't get that inside run. So then defenses started saying, all right, I'm just going to play a light box. I'm going to put another guy in coverage. So then it was like impossible to get anything off there. So what did they start doing? They started those stupid ass bubble screens. And then
Yep.
even one game, they started doing these like long pitches. You remember that when he was like
Oh my
when
God,
Tua would
yeah.
turn around halfway and then he'd pitch? And you're like,
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
that?
no,
Like,
it
bro,
was
he's
called
never
the
done that before.
it was called the fake dive toss. So he would fake the inside dive and then he would turn around and throw it. And yeah, we did that now the first 2 or 3 times we ran that play. It got us a shit ton of yards and it worked great. But guess what? In the second half, when we try to run that same play, they go, no, you
Yeah.
done
And then
fucked
after that
us
game, you
in the
never saw it
first half.
again.
Exactly, and that's where I like Mike McDaniel. You're a great fucking play designer, but the play calling leaves a lot to be desired. Like you said, it wasn't the bubble screen. It was it's called the tunnel screen,
Right.
where
Oh,
they
yeah.
had the
Yeah.
tight end go outside and fake the tight end screen, and then the outside wide receiver comes inside for the tunnel, and the slot receiver goes on an out route to try to pull the safety or cornerback playing the flats out of the way. It's just the same way that I've talked about with Irving, who I get really frustrated with Mike McDaniel, where you run Tyreek on the go route, on the opposite side, Waddle on the post, and then you've got whatever fucking third wide receiver you want to say.
Crosser, like a crosser.
Yeah, the crosser underneath. So when you run that same play 8 times in a fucking game in
Mhm.
2 different fucking formations, they're waiting for it. They're not
Right.
stupid.
Yeah.
And that's
how many
what
times we
gets me
talked about this,
frustrated
CT?
about Mike McDaniel,
You know how many
because
times we talked about this?
I know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
on
But
top of
Fucking
that,
crazy.
TDR, though, on top of that, everybody goes, oh, well, the first year of Tua, oh, he threw out routes, comeback routes to Devontae Parker, and he threw underneath, right? Oh, he took check down Charlie, and he was outside the numbers on comeback routes and whatever. And then everybody goes, but he can't throw over the middle, and he can't throw the deep ball. So then the next year, he throws the deep ball, and he throws over the middle and Mike McDaniel, and then they go, oh, but he doesn't know how to throw a check down, and he doesn't know how to throw outside the numbers. So which one is you fucking
Cajun,
stupid fucks?
Right,
Cajun.
exactly. So
Cajun fucks.
that's schematic issues, right? So that's going back to, okay, we can't threaten them inside with the inside run. So now let's try vertical. Oh, they're playing too high. We can't threaten vertical. What are we gonna have to do? We're gonna have to try and stretch the field horizontally. That shit wasn't working. It's really, really difficult when you don't have an inside run.
And I
Not only
agree, and
that,
that's what I was trying to say is, for me, Mike McDaniel so many times
but here's the
where
thing,
it's
CT, real
third and
quick,
one, third and
yeah.
two. Hold on real quick, Irvin.
Go
On
ahead, go
third and
ahead.
one and
Keep
two,
cooking.
instead of running the ball inside and picking up those 2 or 3 yards, get your first down, and you move the fuck on. Mike McDaniel outsmarts himself, and he goes, well, they think I'm going to run the ball, so I'm going to throw the ball. But then they think that I'm going to think that they're going to think that they're going to play the run,
Have
so
you
I'm going
heard
to
his
throw the
answers to
ball. But then
questions
they're
by
going to think I'm
reporters?
throwing the ball, so I should
Yeah.
run the ball anyway. And he outsmarts him fucking self.
Have you heard his answers when the media asks him questions? He gives some long, overdrawn, like
He gives you every excuse in the book about
complex
every
answer to something very
probability
simple. But anyways,
every
Which
probability, but the simple probability is
oh
run
god.
the motherfucking ball up the middle
But
with the
CT, but here's the
physical
stupid
act
thing, right?
the first
Buffalo, okay,
fucking down.
Buffalo played a lot of light boxes in the first half, right? They played a lot of cover two shells. Sometimes they'll rotate in the quarters, whatever the fuck it is, right? And then in the second half, except to like the end of the like final drive, they started playing. See, they started putting more safeties in the box with just single high. So they were daring the Dolphins to throw the fucking ball on them, right? And Mike McDaniel fell into their trap. Okay, single high. That invites you to say, hey, there's only one safety guarding the middle of the field. So that means that my speedsters are gonna beat them, right? And it didn't work because Buffalo's getting very physical at the line of scrimmage. And instead of just continuing to run the ball, like, bro, you had Jeff Wilson, you had Chan that were running well between the tackles. Why not just continue to run into the boxes?
As a matter of fact, Raheem Mostert in many of those games, especially in the Buffalo game, in the first half, he was running inside and
That's what I
getting
was
8 to
saying.
fucking 12 yards a carry. And then the second half, the thing is this is where Mike McDaniel needs to learn to adjust from half
Then
to
they,
half.
Mhm.
Okay, the plays that worked in the first half, you caught them off guard. Great. But don't
But here's
start
the
trying to fuck. You
well,
got to run
well, I
a
think we're
wrinkle off of that. You got to run a wrinkle off of that. They expect you to run that inside fucking zone, which you caught them off guard because you run outside zone all fucking year. And then you start running inside zone and it's successful. And they go, all right, I'm a fucking counter that. I'm a fucking stop that. Well, Mike McDaniel has to have another fucking contingency and going, all right, I see you trying to stop that. I'll allow that fake twisted back pitch, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The ugliest fucking thing I've seen in my life, by the way. But it worked. But
mhm. Phew. Oh, wait a minute, it's
cut
quiet.
himself out. Where you
Yeah,
at,
he keeps
CT?
himself out. But anyways, yeah, bro. There you go, CT. Go
Well,
ahead.
just what CT was saying right there, and what you were saying, like, yes, okay, the inside run was working. They pulled the man up. Now they got a heavy box, 7-man. And what are we gonna do? Well, our only option is throw vertical because we don't have an intermediate route. We don't have an intermediate threat. So we didn't have like Durham Smythe is awesome. All right, almost what was it? Almost a 80% catch rate, but he has no wiggle. He doesn't have a very expansive route tree, and the guy
That is
just,
true.
you know what I'm saying? He's a great tight end too. He's a good blocker, but he's not Jonnu Smith. And I think that that's where they saw. They're like, okay, what do we need to do? We need to fix the inside run. We need to fix the intermediate route because we are one dimensional. As soon as they call us on one thing, we can't do two other things. And they cut us on one thing with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They can't go deep because they're getting physical and they're small. Where's our big body receiver? Where's our tight end? Where's our guy over the middle that can set up a
That's a
deep?
fact. That's a fact,
Facts.
TDR. Keep cooking. Keep cooking, TDR. Keep cooking,
Yeah, bro.
TDR. That
I've been
boy's cooking
calling we
it
need a possession wide receiver in this draft, but facts. Keep cooking, brother.
No, that's it, man. I think that
up.
I
You
I
just answered
hope
the question, bro.
that they see what that was, and I think that based
Fact.
on their decision making and their moves, I think that they are telling us that they know that.
Right. Hey,
Yeah,
yo,
I
you answered the
agree. I
question, bro.
just think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
No, you're good.
Spike.
No, no. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Roadrunner.
Yes, sir. Hey. By the way, fuck everybody because I had the meep way before it became fucking popular. So fuck all y'all fucking copiers. But anyway, yes, TDR, you hit the nail on the head, and that was my whole thing. Is there are so many times where Mike McDaniel has great ideas. Okay, you outsmart them in the first half, but then they're going to adjust. And then what are you going to do to adjust to their adjustments? And that's where I feel like Mike McDaniel lacked, that he didn't have that one or two wrinkles after the fact. Okay, you want to adjust to this? Okay, I got you one, bitch. I got you one. Look at
Yeah,
this.
but we were
And
personnel light. That's why we tried to bring in Chase Claypool, and he didn't work out because the guy doesn't know how to run a fucking route. You
not
know,
only that, but he can't fucking catch. But at the same time, do you blame Mike McDaniel? And this is where one thing that I get it. Claypool is not fucking elite. Yeah, with the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. Yeah, okay, it worked for them because they had a stout running game that allowed tight ends a la him, Chase Claypool, because he was a tight end almost in a Gesicki role where he played that slot wide receiver. He didn't really play in line. So in that aspect, you had Gesicki in year one. You didn't use him because for whatever reason he said, "Oh, the scheme wasn't developed enough to start including the tight ends." I don't know. That's what I fucking heard out of the thing of, "Oh, I got to do a better job of including our tight ends." That's what year three is about. I don't know, but I digress. My whole thing is Chase Claypool, that possible touchdown throw from Tua is on point, perfect fucking pass.
Against
But it's the
bracket coverage.
but hold on, it's the first fucking pass you threw to Claypool the entire game. So you're asking him just the same way I can make the argument about Tua in the Kansas City game. Well, what did Andy Reid do on that first drive with Mahomes? He goes, "Hey, the wind's fucked. Figure it out. I'm going to give you that first drive, throw your passes, see how the wind's fucking you up, and adjust to it." It's the same thing with Tua, where we were running the ball well, and then the very first pass you asked Tua to throw in that high wind environment
Yeah,
is
exactly.
interception. So
bro. Not only
again,
that, bro. Not only that. And it was a layered throw too. Like you know what I mean. And not only that, but in third and short situations, bro, we're fucking throwing screen passes in the fucking win. Like, why not stick to your run game?
and that was my whole point earlier of
Why throw
saying,
screen passes? And Tua's got to throw like in those screen passes. Like he missed on, I think it was one to Raheem Mostert, and A-Chan, or both of them were to Raheem Mostert. He should have put more fucking juice on the football. Like he should have put more
but
torque.
how would he know? How would he
But still, you
know
got to
if
run the
he only
fucking
had
ball in those
limited
situations.
throws prior to that? So Andy Reid goes, let my quarterback throw a few passes. We go 3 and out. That's fine,
Mhm.
right? That's fine. But at least my quarterback's got a gauge of the wind that he's throwing into
Right.
versus Mike McDaniel going, oh, we're going to run the ball. Oh, now it's 3rd and 2.
It's
I'm going to
funny.
ask you to throw a deep down the field pass when you haven't thrown a fucking ball in this wind and have no idea what it's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why Andy Reid is the highest paid coach of all time.
Oh,
You know, we
agreed.
have a cool coach that has
And
a
and
lot
and,
of promise, but
and,
he is
and
a
they also
young
have a
coach.
right, right, right.
He's got to learn some things, man.
A,
This is a learning process for him, whether we like it or not. It's not going to be perfect.
mm-hmm,
I'm hoping that it's a
mm-hmm.
little bit better this year. Like,
And
what the
TDR,
fuck is
they
up with
also
these
facts.
damn what's it called, challenges? Like, how is he like 1 for 7 or 8? I don't even know what it
I
is.
know,
It's
I know, I
ridiculous.
know.
So bad,
And
and I even fucking made the joke on this show
yep.
so many times that they need to hire somebody to fucking grab his ass or smack his ass or something and go, wait for the guys in the booth to review it, because I don't know. I don't know. Either he's got a Cajun in the fucking review booth, which for those of you who don't know, the comedian, oh God, Tom Segura, I think it is. He said, you can't call them retards anymore. You got to call them Cajuns. So apparently he's got a Cajun in the fucking in the video room. Somebody's got to go up to him and be like, hey, before you throw the challenge flag, let's actually fucking review this by multiple people, not just the Cajun you hired. So
Yep.
that's
And
my
that's
opinion.
one factor of him and needing to grow. But the other one, what you're saying, you're asking, do I think that he does things wrong? Of course. I think he makes bad decisions when it comes to adjustments. I think that
Mm-hmm.
he also is limited too, personnel wise. And that's what I was saying with Chase Claypool. I think it really hurt them that Eric Ezukama was a fail. I think that
Yeah.
was the guy for the intermediate threat.
Right. No,
Yeah,
and
well, if
TDR.
he
Another
learned to
thing is
wash
too,
his fucking
he's
hands
got to
after
get.
he
He's
took
got to work on
shit,
the side. He's got to work on the silent counts at the away games, and he's also got to fucking stop running the play clock down. He's got to get his plays out
time
fast as well.
management. Time
Yeah,
management is an issue, and if
bro, he's running his motions
Izukama,
like fucking late at the snap, bro. Doesn't give Tua time to audible or nothing like that, bro.
well,
Like,
yeah, but
fuck.
listen, Irvin, we've been through this. I don't think it's just the motion thing. It's
Mm.
the it's the
Terminology.
no, we've talked about it, is just like the review situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm trying to, let me look at the replay. Let me make a decision on the replay. Oh shit. I have to actually be a coach and call a fucking play. So I got to look at the, and I don't think that the time management aspect, we've talked about, there were six instances
Right. Right.
in 2 years where we failed to
I was just saying 'cause
score at
Kurt
the end
Warner
of the second
pointed that
half.
out. That's all.
We score, or we failed to score 6 times in a 2-year period at the end of the second half because of time management issues by Mike McDaniel. And again, I agree with you, TDR. He needs to learn. The issue is when are you gonna learn and stop fucking up? And it's the same instance. Not only the time management at the end of the first half. Not only is it the review situations. Not only is it crucial play calling in the red zone, situational play calling in third and short. There are a lot of things that Mike McDaniel has to improve on. I love Mike McDaniel. I want them to stick with Mike McDaniel. Let him learn, but at the same time, at what point, if he's not learning, a la Joe Philbin, a la an Adam Gase, oh yeah, I made the playoffs too. That's great. But the second year of Adam Gase, everybody caught up to what defensively, everybody caught up to what Adam Gase was trying to do. And I don't want to see a repeat of that with Mike McDaniel.
True. Hey, CT, I want to ask. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All I can say is this, man. There are multiple places on the offense where you can threaten, and everybody says it different. But what I would say is the vertical, the under, the intermediate, the seam, and the flat. You could say the inside and outside. There's the hitch, whatever you want to say. But what I would say is it's a lot easier when you have the personnel to be able to threaten every single area. And that's why you see like the Lions all of a sudden explode. It's because fucking Sam Laporta was a key that unlocked
Especially
the
in the
door
seam
for them.
threat. Yeah. And the
Now,
flats
let
and
me
the
ask
seam.
you this, TDR. One quick question.
Good point.
Whose fault is not bringing in the right personnel?
Probably.
Say it again. What'd you say?
Whose fault is it that we're not bringing in the right personnel?
I know where
Oh,
this
it's
is going.
collective. It's
Chris
collective.
Greer. Chris
It's Mike
Greer.
McDaniel. It's Chris Greer.
Uh-oh.
It's whoever's telling them. I mean, but look, I'm not saying
Guess
that
who's
these
here?
guys are terrible. I'm saying that these guys are imperfect. Just like,
Oh, look, Green Rat
I
finally.
haven't heard so much bullshit in my fucking life as I have in the
I know
last
you
10
live
minutes.
in Iowa. You get bullshit all the time in your life.
Finally, Green Rat has returned.
Oh
You got
my God,
what,
Jesus. I think we need to end the show. It's getting so deep and bad in here. Come on, guys.
TDR.
Tighten
Wait,
it up.
you're just in time, Green Rat. They're about to blame Greer for everything.
No,
TDR, what were
we're
you gonna
not.
say at the end?
no, I'm not saying that it's Chris Greer's fault solely, but I'm saying that it's Chris Greer's fault collectively with Mike McDaniel and the scouting team and everybody that they haven't brought in the right personnel. I think that the I think that the depth has been a problem, and that has to do with
That's
personnel.
true. It is true. It is true. I will agree with that. Yeah.
Goal line.
Especially on the offensive line, bro. Yeah, you
Yeah.
sound like bro, you fucking sound like what's his name? Spliff. Oh, you got it, bro. I gotta have Spliff up here, bro. Y'all will get it along so
Got
well.
to because
You need to bring CT's wife in here.
Who the hell's that?
because my wife will tear every
She's
one of
on
y'all
Twitter
fucking
all the time.
motherfuckers apart.
Oh
She
shit.
will tell all of
Oh, I
us
know who you mean. I know who you
fucking
It's
mean.
either his
losers.
wife or his sister, one of the two. I don't
Yeah,
know which.
I know who
I
you
know,
mean.
yeah, I know.
Christopher Aloysius Greer the
Fucking
third. Yeah,
tear
I know.
apart every one of you fuckers and say that none of us should be worried about football, but because we're drunk fucking stupid men, that this is all we care about is football. I don't want to bring that bitch in here. Nah, I'm good.
No, I was
She,
just
would,
talking
she
about
wouldn't
my.
say that about Amicus.
I was
Be
just talking
right
about
about
Spliff.
it.
I was just talking
She
about
wouldn't be
Spliff
right
because
about that.
y'all will agree on so many things, bro. Y'all sound alike too. But anyways, I wanted to ask one last question. I heard this from the Big O show, or people heard Big O say this, that a source close to the Dolphins have said that this is probably Tyreek Hill's last year in Miami.
Yeah.
That they're probably going to end up letting him go because the Dolphins are fed up with his antics, his off the field issues. And there's also, you got to take into account they owe him about close to $40 million next year, and then close to
$42
$50 in
million
2026. So what do you think about
guaranteed
that?
next year. So yes, we've already addressed this on this show.
Well, I
Me
haven't.
and Bleezy.
No,
Me and
but this
Bleezy
is
have already
recent,
said-
CT. But this is recent. I just heard this, that a source told him this is probably Tyreek Hill like last year. Like a
No,
source
and I agree.
that was
I
from
understand.
yesterday.
I'm
Mhm.
saying that
I don't know if there's any truth
Bleezy
to
and
that.
I have talked about it. Fuck, even early last year, that apparently, not this year, but next year, Tyreek is guaranteed $41.7 million. So almost $42 million. There's no way that the Dolphins are paying him $42 million a year. So either Tyreek takes a hell of a pay cut or Tyreek is gone. Those are the only two possibilities.
Well,
Right.
let me say this. If Tyreek goes, Tua takes a major step back, I believe. So,
Yeah, like when Stephon Diggs runs away from Josh Allen.
Again,
bro,
I'm not
there's
saying
already evidence of that. Stephon Diggs didn't get any targets last year, and we won the division. Remember the second
they
half of
stuck
the
to the run
season?
game a
Yeah.
lot more. But
Yeah.
anyway, I will
Or
say
was that before or after you fired your OC because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing?
Simultaneous.
And then again, when Josh Allen threw multiple interceptions in a playoff game like he always does because he's a one-read fucking quarterback and he's shit at what he does.
Oh, one read. The right read. Yeah.
Yeah, tell him that when he threw to Gabe Davis on that option route and he got picked off in the end zone when none of his wide receivers were around, he just chucked it up.
It's funny
But
hearing
you're
the spot
right.
throwing
You're
fans.
right.
Let me ask
You're
you
right.
this. Is it Diggs or is it that they took the ball out of Allen's hands?
get on board,
No,
bitch.
That question was short and quick.
it's Diggs.
Hey,
Whether he was being doubled or not, it doesn't matter. The point is, Allen does better when he shares the wealth.
Yeah, I agree. But when he was trying to go to Diggs across the middle and he knew that Diggs was double covered, he threw it up in the back of the end zone to Gabe Davis, and it was intercepted, and Gabe Davis went the complete opposite way, and everybody goes, oh, well, that's not Josh Allen's fault. That's an option
It's called
route.
a fucking option route.
Wasn't
Right,
based on this, and yeah. But when Tua did the same shit, and the fucking what was it? What game was it? Was it Green Bay at the end of the Green Bay game where Tua's wide receiver ran the wrong option route?
Yeah.
And everybody goes, "Oh, Tua's a shit quarterback. Oh, he's so shitty."
I'm pretty sure everybody didn't say that because of that play.
But when Josh Allen does it, it's an excuse. But when Tua does it, oh, Tua's a shitty quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
Real quick, before we go off the rails, I will say that Tyreek Hill. I don't know if that story's verified. That could be just Big O just doing big old things.
Before we go,
but yeah, I don't know if that story's
it's
for sure.
absolutely true. There's no way, like I said, there's no way the Dolphins are paying him $42 million next year.
I'm not denying it. I'm just saying it could be true, could be not true. But anyways, I will say that Tua, when he is not predetermining where he wants to go pre-snap, when he's actually, when he's going through his progressions, distributing the football, to different receivers, and he's taking just what the defense is. He actually is at his best when he does that. I mean, Cleveland shows you that the Detroit Lions game shows you that, Chargers, et cetera, et cetera.
I would disagree with that, Spidey. I think he's at his worst.
Oh, you're a fucking Bills fan, and
well, I'm just watching the tape and seeing that his best success is when he gets rid of the ball within 2 seconds and he spot throws. You know, and you call Josh Allen a one-to-read quarterback, bro. Tua is the epitome of a fucking one-to-read quarterback.
Which is why I think it's ironic
I don't think Tua does
Josh
go
Allen, Dick
Look
Sucker.
at the- If
That
you look
Josh
at the
Allen,
actual,
Dick Sucker says that Tua is a one-read quarterback.
Josh Allen rolls out of the pocket and finds guys down the field. How many fucking reads is that?
But
Yeah,
I will
again,
say, but that's
when-
not.
So are we going to get a
biased
shit back
bullshit.
our quarterback?
Again, just like Ryan Tannehill, when you have size, but you don't know what the fuck you're doing, but your size allows you to run around and create things, yeah, you may be successful. However,
Keon Coleman.
discounting the fact that there are
Keon
multiple times
Coleman.
where Josh Allen is running around and he tries to advent and he tries to complete a pass that ends up being a fucking terrible pick six or a terrible interception.
What fucking pick six did he throw?
Tua, where he struggles, like when you say when
Bro,
he has
you
a clean
just say shit
pocket.
to say it sometimes.
Hey, Amicus,
Zip
I'm gonna say that with Tua is like it's on the timing throws, right? When they take away that first read that
Yeah.
where he has to throw to a spot, and they take away that first read, and he has to get to second and third on
Yeah.
timing routes. That I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah,
where he
yeah.
struggles at. You know what I mean?
No,
But if he actually,
yeah.
if he goes through his progressions and he's actually reading the field, he goes through his reads very quickly and usually makes the smart decision.
Well, I can agree with that. You know why? Because if he
Mhm.
goes through the reads, then he's not spot throwing.
Exactly. So when he's not throwing to spots on timing routes,
Yep.
and because remember, the point of that fucking route is to get rid of the ball very quickly. But if they jam Tyreek and they won't let him get a free release off the line of scrimmage, he cannot
Yep.
get to his spot, or they're playing bump and run, they reroute him. Tua's like, oh shit, I gotta get. Oh shit, that's not the design of this offense. Oh, because it's
Yep.
a timing route, so I have to hold on to it. Oh shit, I
But
gotta look
that's a
for another
might
route,
make
and the route
that's
maybe
a
not. You know what I mean? That
failure.
play is not necessarily designed to go through your progressions. You know what I mean?
That's a
And that's
Mike
where the over
McDaniel
focus on that shit
failure.
is why you see him struggling.
And,
I
and
know
also, Spidey,
It's
let
a
me say that. Hold on, PT. Can I just finish my fucking thought?
Oh
To
my
answer
God.
Spidey,
I had a point, but
to answer Spidey, like I would find it insulting as a Dolphin fan that McDaniel does all the spot throws, because to me that means you don't trust your quarterback to go through progressions.
No, I think it's not the trust because it's not the trust because Tua is actually really good at it when he does go through his progression. I just think it's the over reliance on the fucking spot throwing the timing routes. Yeah, Tua does
okay,
like it.
fair enough.
Tua does like it too. Tua does to a degree does like those type of plays because he's able to make quick decisions, get the ball quick out of his hands. But when you over rely on that shit because you got speedsters on the outside that can get to their spots quickly, create quick separation, that's a problem. And defenses have figured that out. So you have to develop more of a drop back game where your quarterback is going through progressions and reading the fucking field.
Yeah.
And that's where
I
that
agree.
offense
So let me
needs to
say
get to
this.
in order
I
to get to the next
disagree.
level, that's what they need to do.
So let me say this to Green Rat. We're getting to Green Rat. My
I wanna hear
thing
from Green
was,
Rat.
hold on. The only thing that I have to push back on, or with you guys' evaluation of that is Tua in Alabama and in the pros in a 5-wide set where he has to make quick decisions, read not only one side of the field, but both sides of the fields. He has been in a 90+% percentage of success rate. So Tua is great in decision making in 5 wide situations. Why does Miami not run more 5 wide situations or 5 wide concepts?
No, they need to add more 5-step drop concepts and not over reliance on the RPO run action fakes
And that's
or the
what
play
I'm
action
saying.
fakes.
The
Irving, why was
RPO
it?
is an accentuation, but again, if the statistics say that in college and in the pros in 5 wide sets that Tua has a 90 plus percentage efficiency or success rate, why are you not running more 5 wide sets?
Because he
Right.
doesn't want to get sacked. And when Connor Williams went out and they dropped 0.5 of
Right.
a second,
Well,
right?
the point of the point of the empty sets TDR is to see he can see where the pressure is coming from because he can see everything. He can see the whole field.
Yeah, you can't he can hot route. He can see in the split 5 wide where the blitz is
We don't use that too
possibly
much.
coming from. And that's why he does well in that aspect.
I
The
agree.
issue is, and I agree with you, TDR, that yes, there are sack implications, not because again, Tua is a Ryan Tannehill and completely incompetent in pocket presence. Tua is great in pocket presence. However, he's not a Josh Allen. He's not a Lamar Jackson. And Josh Allen, he's not fast
And
like Lamar Jackson, but he has
CT,
the
but this is why
physicality.
Allen outran your
Let
whole
me
fucking
finish.
secondary.
Damn
CT,
it.
CT, but this is where he has to get off his spot more, and he has to be able to maneuver through the pocket and try to extend the play so he can help his receivers get open, and that will help
Can you shut up so I can finish?
Shit.
Christ.
off his spot more. If he gets off his spot more, he won't be a sitting duck in the pocket, and I think fuck, I forgot my point. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. So,
you know-
long story short, why is it that even the incompetence of Brian Flores knew that, hey, if
and his
we
weight
roll
loss,
out
his weight loss is going to be
if we
important. Him
roll
getting
out
more.
Tua, if we roll out Tua, his accuracy is impeccable. Let's use that to our advantage. Why is it that there
Half-field reads,
Mike McDaniel's scheme that doesn't do the same thing of, hey, let's roll that play action, get him off the spot, let's do this, it's almost like Mike McDaniel wants to confine him to a pocket passer.
Maybe it's because of the concussions, DP.
You can see.
No, it's not.
Go
Stop
ahead,
that.
TDR.
Don't fucking get me on that soapbox. Please, Spidey, change the subject. Green Rat, change the subject before I fucking go on an Amicus.
No, I want to hear what
fucking
TDR. I want to hear what
concussions.
CT.
I don't want to hear the fucking concussion word again.
I got
It's
you, buddy.
fucking stupid.
I got you. Let TDR land and then let Green Rat get his point across. They've been waiting.
Well, what you're saying is he has a better vantage point. That's true. But when he started, you can see real time, right? When these injuries started to pile up in the interior line, he went from a 3-step drop, right? Play action. He started getting shoestring tackled, right? He started getting tackled immediately. Before he even turned around, he's already got to worry about somebody on him. So then they started going to this single step slide where it was a quick read because he didn't have a choice. He had no option to drop back and get deep in the pocket for that vantage point.
I agree. I'm not arguing that. That is
So then
absolutely
you're asking
factually
why.
100% true.
And
You're
CT,
asking
one more.
why they didn't run that more, and that's the
Right.
reason why is because he was getting immediate pressure from that vantage point.
Right.
But why was Mike? Let me ask you this, and this is where again I agree with that sentiment. Now let's talk strategy wise. Okay, we understand you can't. You're going to take the first read away. You're going to put pressure on the offensive lineman to protect Tua long enough to get to his second, third, fourth read. Now, if I'm Mike McDaniel, I go, hey, okay, they're trying to take away that first read. Let me give them a dummy first read and run a different route combination that's going to take advantage of that. That's my issue.
Who's the guy? Who's the guy? It's not going to be Durham Smythe. Who's the
Well,
guy that
at
be a
that
check down?
time, if the guy was gonna be that, okay, it was supposed to be Braxton Berrios, but I'm the one that said, yeah, Braxton Berrios is a la a Devon Bess, Chris Hogan, like, oh, on third downs, I can get it in and out of routes. I'll get you that first down, blah, blah, blah. But Braxton Berrios failed at that. Braxton Berrios could not provide um, uh, uh, separation. He could not provide separation. And there were a lot of contested balls, if you noticed, whether it was Durham Smythe in the flat, whether it was Chase Claypool on the in route. All of these guys, they were short route combinations that if you knew the defense was trying to take away first reads and low range routes, why don't you add a mid route and an outside route? Oh, but Tua can't throw the outside route. Yes, he can. He did it with Devontae Parker. If you have the right player there, that's what he built his name on in his first year is quote unquote checking it down and throwing out routes and comeback routes. So now the narrative has changed from, oh, he can't throw inside or over the mid or over the middle or deep, and then he proves that he can do that. Now the argument circles back around to, oh, he can't check down and he can't throw outside the numbers. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, which is why I think it's a personnel issue, and that's why they brought in Jonnu Smith and Jody Fortson, and they drafted Malik Washington and Taj Washington, and they're talking about OBJ and all these people because they're trying to fulfill that need of let's be able to target these areas that are open to us that these guys that we've had on our team just can't get open to.
Right.
And that right there, it's a lack of personnel, which comes down to, and again, I agree with you. It is a Mike McDaniel problem. It is a Chris Greer problem. And it is a, what's his name? The assistant, the one that
Marvin Allen.
Marvin Allen. Sorry. Yeah. Because he's the head scouting guy. So those three guys are responsible for this problem. And somebody has to start being held accountable. At some point, we can't just keep ignoring it.
Hey, CT,
who is accountable?
All of them somehow. Hey, listen, I wanted to make two quick points. Number one, I was going to finish up with Tua getting off his spot. Also, second part, he's getting leaner now, so he'll be able to move more quickly, and and be able to move, be more maneuverable in space and stuff like that, and have more escapability. And number two, the whole Tua doesn't go through his progression. Actually, this season, there were only like 7 other quarterbacks that went through more progressions than he did. But he's one of the top 7 going through his progressions, just that his EPA to his first read, which is, more often than not, usually open, is the highest in the league. But he actually goes more through progressions 2 to 5 than he does just 1. So to feed that narrative. But
100%.
yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Oh, where's Green Rat? I wanted to hear what he wanted to say.
I don't know. He said that I put him backstage, but I didn't because
No, he
I've
said to
been.
put him backstage.
I don't
He
know.
said put me backstage.
Anyway, long story short, I really do. I agree with that sentiment. It's the I don't want to fucking vindicate one individual over another. I do think that there's a collective accountability, just the same way that I argued with um, Brian Flores, that there's a collective accountability. And at some point, people have to realize that whether it was the inability or the lack of focus on the tight end position in the first 2 years of Mike McDaniel, or if it was a lack of personnel, a la, okay, we know Mike Gesicki can't block, so it makes us one dimensional when I put Gesicki out there as being a former San Francisco run game coordinator. I'm showing my hand because this guy can't run block to save his life. There's so many intricacies over all of it. However, my issue is I don't want to. You can spread the blame everywhere you want. My issue is Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer in their first press conference said, "We're going to build the sustained winner and we are here for the long term." And if they fail to deliver that, it should cost them both their jobs. Now, if I am asked to choose between Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer, I'm choosing Mike McDaniel because of the TDR's reasons that he brought up earlier. How many times that you got a Mike Tomlin, you got all these other guys that have been coaches for years. Yeah, they made their mistakes, they've learned, they've done all these things. I brought up how many times, Irving, that the Miami Dolphins only allow 3.5 years on average of their head coaches. The only exception, 3 years for Brian Flores, three years for Adam Gase, 3 years for Joe Philbin, minus the exception. It was 3 years and 4 games for Joe Philbin. When do you start realizing that maybe the head coach isn't the issue? Maybe it's the GM. So TDR, did I blow your mind on that one?
No, I mean it's 100% true. I do understand. Well, quite honestly, I've watched this team for 35 years, and the majority of the time that I've seen this team, it's been mediocre. It's been mid, right? I mean, we've had good defenses and bad offenses, and some hope here, and
And they never
no
marry
hope there.
each other. They never marry each other.
Yeah, and I don't think that they were trying, honestly. I mean, I know they all are trying, but I think that there comes a point where you just have to label certain teams. And I think the Dolphins for the past 28 years have been a team that's just kind of okay with being mid.
Yep. And we don't want that no more.
and I don't think they want it anymore. I don't think Stephen Ross wants that anymore, and that's why he's willing to start, putting out that checkbook. And I think that this is a new era. This is a window opportunity with McDaniel, and I just hope that Chris Greer is on board, which I think from what I see, he's making a lot better decisions this year than he has been in years past. It kind of seems like, oh shit, I realized that I've been
I
fucking up
bring
on.
him up and then hops off. Anyway, my bad.
No, it's just I think that they are making better decisions this year. I think that it was a game. Oh, how do we target this? Let's sign this kid Tanner Connor to a UDFA and try and turn him into a tight end. Let's do the same with Julian Hill. No, it's time to get fucking serious, man. We need these things to run like a well-oiled machine.
Yep, agreed. TDR is the new fucking reasonable Dolphins fan. God damn it, Green Rat! I brought you in multiple times and you keep leaving. I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
I'm
But
interested to hear what he has to say, man. He said we were all talking shit for the past hour.
I know because he likes Liam Eichenberg and he's going to tell us that Liam is a Pro Bowl fucking center and we're all going to laugh at him. And that's what's going to happen. Oh, he finally came back in again. Let's do it. Are you actually going to talk this time, Green Rat?
If you'd fucking look at your thing, I don't want to come back up. I'm waiting for you to end the show and we'll talk backstage.
Okay. Well, I appreciate everybody coming out. There's 117 on StreamYard. I know that all of you guys are not on Facebook or YouTube. Some of you are on Facebook. Some of you guys are on Twitter. Some of you guys, well, X. Sorry, God damn it, X at Twitch and all that. Come on over to YouTube. Smash that like button. Hit the subscribe. Hit the notification bell. We're here every Monday at 8:30. We do impromptu shows throughout the week, like we are right now. We did 6 shows out of 7 days last week. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you can see when we're live. Thank you guys. TDR, Cap for Life, Green Rat, Spidey, Colin, everybody who came on. I appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and get into final thoughts. Green Rat, you've been here in and out. You've been here from the beginning. Final thoughts. And he's muted. So, all right. TDR, final thoughts, brother.
Nothing much, man. No, I appreciate you letting me come on here. It's been a good time. I love these discussions, and we'll have to keep doing it. You guys can follow me on Twitter, X, that Dolphins Realtor. We always have a good time.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Hold on, let me do that. It's at Dolphins, the Dolphins Realtor.
I think it's that Phins Realtor, that Dolphins Realtor. But you can find me that Phins Realtor.
That Phins Realtor. My bad. I just wanted to throw up my bad. I wanted to throw up the banner at that Phins Realtor on X.
That's
Go
awesome.
check
It's
him
an F
out.
though, but yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So hold on. I'm sorry.
I'm making it difficult for you. No, I
Oh,
appreciate
you're
it.
fine. You're fine, bro. You are absolutely fine. It's My fault. I should know it. But I don't get on X and all that. I don't do that. That's not my. But at Phins Realtor on X, go check him out. Amazing human being. Great fucking conversation. Intelligent conversation. That's where we separate ourselves from the other people out there. We're not about clickbait. We're not about fucking drama. We are all about the Dolphins and talking real shit. We're never going to agree. And that's what makes this platform so amazing is everybody can come out and give their opinion. We're not always going to agree, but there are times where, again, even TDR tonight, he changed my opinion. There are certain things that I was very stuck on, and one of those being Greer, and I get it. I got my personal deference with Greer, but I can see it more evenly both ways, and that's kind of where it is. And that's the whole point of these conversations is we want to educate one another, and we want to be able to talk about our team and have a good time debating it and talking about what we expect for the year coming up with episode 118 or 118 Miami Dolphins content. We appreciate you guys. We're going to leave you with our favorite clip as always, and we will see you on the next one.
Later.
Waddell. Everybody knew they would yell from the box like Jay.